Good morning, it's Monday, May 18th, 2026, 46 years after the eruption of Mount St. Helens.
Oh.
I'm here for our county administrator update.
Okay.
Morning.
Well, good morning, commissioners. I don't know if Cindy's going to be online or if she's going to join us. I haven't heard.
Online right now.
Oh, she is.
Moving her.
Okay, outstanding. I have a whole bunch of stuff to be done in an executive session. I'll mention a couple of small things first, and then we'll probably have to go into executive session, then back out, and then back in again for various reasons. But so I'm going to start with talking about builder's risk insurance for the jail. As we started the jail, it's the requirement of the general contractor to carry insurance for the project, the contents, the tools, all that stuff is called builder's risk. As we complete the job, then you have to transition over and put the facilities on your own insurance. We have done that, so we are now insuring our facilities, but the bill for that is $362,000. So we have a choice. We can do a budget extension and try and pay for that from somewhere, or I don't see a reason why we can't use the jail funds or the 3/10 funds to at least pay for it this year so that we can plan for it in the budget next year. Didn't anticipate it being as high as it was, but we can do either one. Would you like me to plan on using funds from the 3/10, or would you like to do a budget extension and look for something from REIT? Any initial thoughts? I actually don't even know if REIT can pay for the insurance premium.
Yeah, I don't know why we wouldn't use the 3/10.
Okay, all right, so I'll plan on doing that. So I'll get that on consent next week. Oh, it's on consent this week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right,
It's on our list.
thanks. And so at least now we have fun. Here's Cindy, so I'll just give her a moment. Good morning.
Randy could put that in the paper someday. I'll be really
Good
early and I'm
morning.
gonna say, sorry to interrupt.
I have your Rubbermaid container in my car, so I'll get it to you.
Help me redeem yourself.
So we do have an issue going on at the jail. As corrections officers move throughout the jail, they use the radios in order for those radios constantly work in a building that's chock full of brick and steel. They use a distributed antenna system. So we hadn't had one installed completely. We had parts of it, and we have some pretty serious dead spots. It's code that you have one. We had our building signed off last week by the fire marshal who's in charge of it. He didn't call us out for the report that showed the weak areas. Future-wise, I think that we have to install the entire distributed antenna system so there are no weak spots. It's a safety feature, but beyond the safety feature, it's also a code issue. This is going to be about $250,000. That will be a change order that we'll have to add to the GMP contract. So the first company that we went to, we asked them for a price and they started involving everybody. They contacted MAC, they contacted the sheriff, they started talking about what these outside entities wanted. Their contract was very clear with Leidig. Leidig fired them for the way that they were acting about the project. Their cost was very similar to the second company we used. So we'll probably go forward with that, and I'll get something on consent for next week for the distributed antenna system. And that will be what that's about. The upcoming CAB meeting this week, Rob, Commissioner Jones, you're a part of that. If you saw the leadership report I sent, you're not gonna make it? Okay. All right, would another commissioner like to join us for the CAB meeting? Darcy Holmes will be here addressing the CAB.
I can do the next one. I
Okay.
can't do this one.
Okay. So if we want to swap that up a little bit, if either Kevin or Cindy would like to join us.
What day? What day?
Thursday at 1:30.
Cindy was supposed to be the one on the 4th.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, we can swap as long, and we don't have to have a commissioner there. I just thought it'd be a good opportunity. The this Thursday at 1:30. Yeah. Morning, Jim. We can decide that later. It's not that big of a deal. But I'm going to have all the various candidates. The purpose of this is obviously, we know what we've gone through with elected officials that are, leaving and some of the difficulties we've had with budgets, things like that. The whole point is to get these candidates who might end up being elected officials here at Grant County in front of all of the department heads that they probably don't know, and discuss the culture we're trying to instill, and the work ethic and the one team, one fight kind of ethic that we want to have. And I think if we start to explain that stuff before they even enter office, whoever they may be. So Darcy has accepted the invitation. I haven't reached out to the others. I'm going to go and see Kim Allen and Shannon Falstead this morning. And then I'll reach out to Andrew. Missy didn't file, so, short of a write-in campaign, Clayton's going to be our assessor, but I'd like him to sit in front of the cab anyway. And then we'll start working on all the candidates for District 3. So there's quite a few. I don't know any of them. So whether we get all of them in there or just one or two or three, don't know.
Well, if you're gonna invite one.
I've got to
you
invite them
have
all,
to
yeah.
Invite them all, so
Yeah.
just make
No, I
sure
get it.
you-
I get
Once
it.
you start it, you've gotta,
Well, no, I'm wondering if, though, isn't there like 5?
or,
4. So, if my cab meetings are every 2 weeks, that's putting it out there. So I'm wondering if I should have 2, at a single cab meeting. I don't know, just some thoughts. And then do it, and then 2 weeks later do 2. So, doesn't have to be decided. Obviously, it's the cab meeting, so they're not public meetings. But it is an opportunity for them to get in front of all the department heads and even get a better understanding of the county makeup. So, Kevin, you look like you're thinking.
Well, I was just trying to figure out time frame.
Yeah.
well, if you did I don't know if I'd have 2 in the same party. I would do it like an auditor and a commissioner.
Oh, maybe that. Yeah, you know what? That's
Because
not a bad idea. Yeah.
Like fight in the hallway.
Just like, keep it.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, that
Okay.
would probably work.
Yeah. All right. I'll work on that and try and make that happen. So this week's leadership report that I sent you, there's quite a few this summer at the very end, had quite a few leadership decisions needed. Most of them, or a good portion of them, are in regard to various things going on at Renew. I am meeting with Dell Anderson today at 2:00 in my office to go over a software package they're looking to buy. So I'm going to go over all of those different bullet points that were in there and make sure that we're on the right track, that we're not dropping anything there. My other concern is I want to get together with Swahale about this deal at Chelan County and the daily bed rate renegotiation they want to do. It seems it's gonna be a big hit on the budget if they do that. So I'd like to find out where we are and if Swahale needs to get in front of the board and we need to come up with a position on this. We'll want to get working on that. So some of the other items, again, some of this was redundant because it was the week I was on vacation. Some of that stuff had already made it to consent. So it's on consent this week. The projects at the fairgrounds, the fence and the Brian Miller concrete, those were both approved capital projects and we have funding for them. And then the other one was determining whether or not we could use REIT funds to cover the $4,000 budget gap on the sidewalks out here. Now, I suggested to Kevin, in the past, we've been allowed to do that if we have, REIT 2 monies that we have left over, we can use it for a different REIT 2 type of project. We've done that for the past few years. That's the plan here, but I've asked Kevin to write a letter memorializing that and get it to consent so that we have it instead of just doing it. And that way we have a track of it. So all told, it's not a huge expense at $4,000 to complete the sidewalks. Those sidewalks are in bad shape and need a repair, so.
Okay, I believe, because we did get in trouble with this, so if it's generalized, like the fairground updates, but if it's specific, because we have been called out for some of our fairgrounds. If there's leftover money, then it's used for another project. So,
At the fairgrounds, yeah. And what we did was we broke it up into regions, and that's what we're doing here.
Okay.
So, yeah. But regardless, he'll get it into a letter so that, it becomes a matter of public record. So,
number 10, for the Brian Miller, I did have a question on that for the Brian Miller concrete contract for removal of the old concrete and replacement. So the change order is just removing extending the contract.
it's
the
removed, yeah,
concrete
so yeah,
removal.
because we have new concrete going in, but it's butting up to old concrete
Okay,
that needs to be replaced. So you might as well just go ahead and demo it and replace it. So it's all new. We have, for that specific project, $27,000 in excess on that, in that REIT funds for that project. So he's just using the funds for that, from
okay.
that
That's
excess.
still the same project.
Yep, it's the
Okay.
same
Just
project, so.
extending it. Thank you
Yeah.
for clarifying.
Mhm. And Kevin was planning on being here for the work session or for consent tomorrow if you had any other questions.
Okay.
With that, I will move into, let's see, deputy clerk interviews tomorrow. Sage and Son is growing. Wednesday, I'm meeting with the city of Ephrata and Kevin. They're looking to either put power on the side of our building, CSHR, or on the south end of Development Services, as they need power for vendors who are going further down C Street. So that's good to hear. Grays Harbor, I think this is our last county tour. They will be here Wednesday. They're bringing 8 or 9 people. I know Pierce County brought a huge contingent. And then last week, I also met with a single Grays Harbor commissioner, and we had a great discussion about our project. So it's definitely garnered a ton of interest. Everybody has taken notice of our jail project, so it's great. But I think this is going to be our last county tour. And then I'll start working with Phil about having him just take over the tours as they get closer to locking that place down security-wise, as they figure out inmate movement and things like that. We are expecting our last truckload of furniture should be this week, and they're going to be another week and a half or 2 weeks installing furniture.
Here's what I found.
Didn't even ask you.
They found your furniture, Tom.
Yeah. And then what else? Memorial Day, you know what? Kevin, let me ask you a question. Seeing as we got Jim's input a half hour before we were supposed to meet about it, and now we have it, but we still have to get together and score it and do the whole deal. Would you like to move his review to, instead of it being this Friday, to Tuesday afternoon next week, after Memorial Day?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. That would be better.
It's
Hmm?
a little bit to read, so
Yeah, there's a little bit to read there. We can get that finished up, and then,
that way I can read it this time.
oh no, appreciate that. So, yeah,
On
but,
a Friday. You're trying
well,
to
that
terrorize
clears
them
up
all
our
week.
Friday, so it's Memorial Day weekend, right? So I'll probably take a day of annual on that Friday
Okay,
and turn it into a 4-day weekend. I'm a little bit behind on my house, so,
understand.
just have a ton to take care of. So I have one other meeting I have to move on Friday, but yeah, that would be great if we could do
Yeah,
that. So
no, that's
can
fine.
we schedule that, Caitlin, for Tuesday afternoon after all the meetings? And then you and I can just find some time this week with somebody in HR. We'll sit down and we'll go over it. So
You have time with HR on Wednesday to go with that. I put it on your calendar already.
this Wednesday?
Yes.
Perfect. What time?
At, hang on, 2 p.m.
Okay. That'll work good. That'll work good. Did I just see Corey walk by?
Yeah.
Corey's been doing great, by the way. I'll just plug since I see him. He has been down at the jail every day. He's been in the pocket of the contractors as they've completed everything down there. So he seems to be adjusting well, doing well, pretty happy. Looking forward to maintaining this facility. So
Sure
there's
is.
a lot to it. I think he was pretty overwhelmed at first, but I think he's starting to
Comfortable.
It
figure
is
it
a
out.
little overwhelming. I would not be the,
Yeah,
maintenance
yeah.
person.
Yeah, people are really surprised at the size of it when they see it. Last week, I did have tours on Friday. We had more employees from the city of Ephrata that had not seen it and wanted to see it, so I took them. And then as we were finishing, there was a road deputy, Ryan Hernandez, who pulled up. He was just out on patrol, saw people sitting in front, so he thought he'd drive in. And I was like, have you even seen this place? And he said, no. So we went on a really quick tour and kind of jogged through the place, so. But he was pretty excited as well. So it was good to get one of the road deputies in there so they could see it. Clerk of the board updates?
Yes. I met with, well, I had a phone call with Rochelle last week about the marketing manager duties that will probably need to be monitored after she goes. There's not a whole lot. It's really just coordinating the social media reports. There's the influencer coming in July, so, reviewing that content when it comes in. She'll be setting me up to get access to the back end of the app, so I'll have that and I can share that with TS. And then the travel planner is the other big thing, which she is hoping to have that done, but we are still working on the agreement with Journal Graphics Printing. They've sent over an update, legal has reviewed it and given their comments, so we returned the comments to the printer and we're waiting on their response. And then, kind of going with that, tourism, the committee is wanting to update the logo again to just change the tagline from Nature's Playground to Ancient Playground, which would match the theme of the travel planner that they're doing this year. The cost for the redesign is $300. I figured I would just ask the board if that's something you'd be interested in before I put it on consent.
Is that a nature's playground?
Yeah, changing it to Ancient Playground to match the theme of the travel planner that they're putting together.
Well, when you just say that, I'm like ancient, I kind of think, do I really want to go to something that sounds
Like
not
the
fun?
salt cliffs you're gonna jump
I
off
know.
of, or?
With the ghosts, I guess. If that's what the tourism committee wanted. Rob, your thoughts? Just when I heard ancient, I'm like, oh, it does not sound appealing.
I'm in agreement there. I think Nature's Playground is way more inviting. Brandy, what do you think?
I agree. Ancient sounds old.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to go somewhere with my grandparents to go on, or,
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, nature can.
Taking the old fossils to the old fossils playground.
I don't have Nature's Playground either, but I mean, whatever.
well, it's better than the fish one,
Yeah,
just natural ingredients, and I'm like, what is
that was a
this?
granola bar commercial.
So
But if that's what the tourism committee wanted, that's what they all voted
That's what
on?
they recommended. I'm okay.
Can you say that name again?
Ancient Playground, and there's a $300 design fee that would be charged because.
Why
she
not
would
just
need to
say
update.
like, just Grant County?
Yeah, Grant
Leave it
County's
at that.
playground, Grant
Yeah.
County's playground.
Like, why the natural ingredients? Why, because we have basalt?
No, we have
River.
fishing, it was,
And, like, ancient, playing on the floods, because the floods is a big draw.
I think they were wanting ancient this year because the America's 250. They were wanting to do like
Well-
a historical kind of theme for the.
I
travel
could say like
planner.
historical playground or,
No,
but
not like that either.
ancient?
Grant County.
I like Grant County's playground.
What does perplexity say?
Mom, please,
Oh,
I
hold on.
worked out too hard for that one today.
I will put
Can't
this
even
on
cough.
consent next week as approval for that, since it
Well,
sounds
I'm
like
just-
it's not a hard.
well, I
yes
will
or no
follow the
right now.
recommendation, it just does not sound appealing, is all I'm getting at.
I'd
You
just
gotta
like
have
to
kind of a
see it done.
catchy,
It would not be changed on, from what I understand, it would not be changed on the travel planner. I believe it would just be for future.
but
ad
there's so
use.
many more things than. What did perplexity say?
I didn't, I was actually
Oh.
teamsing Trevor, trying to get him to come down for the next
Oh,
exec
come
session.
on.
Some more discussion on that. at a later
Ancient,
date.
just ask perplexity, another word for ancient playground.
Another,
Historical playground.
okay, hold on.
More
That's where the
discussion.
dinosaurs were.
Well, I think it sounds better, historical sounds better than ancient. Ancient just sounds like it's run down, not, like, it's just an ancient.
Anything, come on, come on.
I think we can do better.
Randy agrees with this. I can tell by the smile on his face, he's 100% going ancient. What the heck are you guys thinking?
I'm having trouble here.
Going there, that place is ancient.
But I mean, people come here to go camping, fishing, and to the gorge. And to
And
play softball
agritourism,
or whatever.
agritourism, sports,
Yeah.
water. They come over here for a lot
Gotta
of
do
water.
better.
For some reason.
And
Tom's getting it for us. He's gonna.
No,
come.
my,
Did you get kicked off Perplexity? Did you overuse it?
no, I did not overuse it,
Did you have
but
too
it's
many?
but it's, my iPad is frozen up. So.
dang perplexity.
it
Taking
It's
won't
all
because
your
Tom
data.
likes ancient. He's not trying to help us. That's what it is. He's holding out. He's like, I like
I
ancient.
am not. I will come up with something for you.
That's funny.
The only other thing I had, Crystal Burns reached out, she would like to cancel the Superior Court update today. I did ask if there was anyone else from the office that could attend in her place, and she said not today. So, FYI.
Okay.
And then I had a note to talk to the board, there's the Washington Rural Jail Network third Grant County meeting on June 2nd. It is from 12:30 to 2, that is a Tuesday, at the Larson Center Recreation Center's Cascade Room in Moses Lake. We have a public hearing from 12 to 12:30 that day, but
Interestingly, my reply to that email was a little bit facetious, but I had never heard of them, and considering we just did a 24-month build on a rural jail, I was surprised that, I never heard from them and didn't even know what they were about. And Joe Crete actually responded to that and said that he met with them a number of times.
And he would be there.
Hmm?
And that he was gonna be there.
Yeah, so
does any of the board want to attend that meeting?
Difficult for us to be there. We have a
Probably no.
Public hearing.
Okay, and then the other one, is the East Columbia Basin Irrigation District groundbreaking ceremony for the 4th Odessa Groundwater Replacement Program System. That one is on Wednesday, June 10th from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Kevin, I have your note that if neither of the other commissioners would attend, that you would want to go to that one. So do either of the other commissioners want to attend?
Yeah, I was gonna be in Kettle Falls for that
Yes.
other tour, the Kettle, or.
And it's in Grant County.
This one is.
I believe it is, yes.
No, the map doesn't want to load. Part of the Odessa Groundwater Replacement Program.
Yeah, and a lot of that's in Adams County. I'm probably a no, because I got an appointment earlier.
I'm gonna load the map for it, and it really does not want to load. I did forward this to you guys, last Tuesday.
It's also the day of the senior picnic. I see Odessa.
A lot going on that day.
There's a lot going on today.
We can figure that out later, huh?
all right. One last thing. Can you do me a favor? Can you try and call Trevor? I Teamsed him.
Yes.
Can you see if he's available? My first executive session is it's not really to avoid litigation, but it's,
Is there something else you can put it
Has to
under?
do with it.
it has to do with the city of Moses Lake. Well, I could put it under real estate acquisition, I suppose. And not, not involve the prosecutor. But there is some legal stuff to it. Well, she's giving him a quick call to see if he's available. And that executive session is gonna take about 5 minutes. I'd shared with you some maps that Kim Allen had drawn up for the sheriff's office once he vacates. I had met with the prosecutor. The prosecutor is gonna move his entire staff from the annex, no joy? Okay. Down to the sheriff's office. And in our discussions, he agreed that that was never really kind of part of the program. And after seeing these maps, he was going to meet with Kim, and he couldn't recommend, just from a prosecutorial standpoint, because of the proximity of the clerks and the prosecutors, that they share that space. So it's looking more likely that Kim will not be sharing any space downstairs with the prosecutor. That being said, we are still trying to figure out what we're going to do with the old jail. And I know it's going to be quite some time before we do something with it. We're looking at possibly using some storage space in there for her needs, which would again then be on the same floor that she's at, so she could go down that hallway to her courtroom possibly. I haven't talked to her about this, but that's the thought that Kevin and I had. So we'll when I go and see her this morning, I'll talk to her about that and see what she's got to say. So for now, the plan will be, we'll do carpet and paint, and that's about all of the refresh that office will get. It's all that Brandon needs. He doesn't need any more than that. All the offices are good. All the spaces are good. We've been wanting to get carpet in there for a couple of years. We just haven't been able to coordinate it with the sheriff. So it'll be carpet, paint, and the prosecutor will move in. So with that,
Just real quick, Tom,
yeah.
the ground breaking in Ribbon County, whatever, it is in Adams County. It's not in Grant County.
Oh,
So,
okay,
I don't follow.
okay.
follow.
And we are still working to schedule ours for the jail. It looks like it's probably going to be the first week of June or possibly the second week of June. We're trying to get that solidified last week and we failed. It was a lot of different people with difficult schedules. So, and I haven't even been able to reach out to some of our former commissioners or sheriffs yet. So,
I
yes,
think we should serve donuts.
donuts.
Would that be a
Why
nice
not?
little?
That would be
Oh, I think just throwing that out there. Sorry.
cops and donuts. Why not?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, so I would like to go into executive session to discuss an issue with the city of Moses Lake.
Are we calling land acquisition?
Yeah,
Well, here, do you have it so you can read?
I do not have it.
Okay, here, if it falls under one of these.
Yeah. Hey, Randy, give me a call if you got any follow-up questions or not. Thanks.
Continue, Randy.
Hmm.
I'd like to help you out on it, but I'm not quite sure what the problem is.
I know, I understand.
Yeah, this doesn't. That's a
It does,
difficult- difficult one.
it's difficult, yeah, well, yeah. I
Kevin, do you
will,
know what it's about?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
how about actually putting it under an ongoing contract, RCW 42.30.110 ID, to review negotiations on the performance of publicly bid contract. When public, no, that doesn't fit.
Is Brandon around? Brandon could come, Barbara. We just have to have one of our attorneys.
Yeah, is Brandon available for 5 minutes? And then I can, while I'm waiting for him, I can launch into a different one that has to do with personnel disciplinary matters.
Well, personal disciplinary, we can start with that one, and then we have to come out and then go into
Yeah.
the other. So let's do that, and then
How long do you think?
Personnel disciplinary matters, actually, now, wait a minute, let me look at this, make sure I don't have to go into. Personnel disciplinary matters is gonna be about 5 minutes, then we'll come out and we'll go back in and we'll do job evaluation. That's gonna take about 20 minutes. And then we can come out and go back in and do this other one.
5 minutes to start with.
Yeah,
We're gonna go into executive session for personnel disciplinary matters, RCW 42.30.1101F. For 5 minutes, coming out at
and if you
9:05.
could get a hold of any one of them, Caitlin, thanks.
Like I say.
Perfect.
It is 9:05 and we are out of executive session. No decisions were made.
Hey, thanks, Trevor.
Good morning, you
Good
found
morning.
it
Have a seat.
buried in a law books.
How long do you think this one's gonna be?
Just 5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes tops.
And that's gonna be under litigation.
Yeah.
We're gonna go into executive session under litigation, RCW 42.30.1101I for 5 minutes, coming out at 9:05 and 9:10. It is 9:10. We're gonna extend for an additional 2 minutes to 9:12.
Partnership
It is
and
9:12 and we are out of executive session.
Yeah.
No decisions were made.
maybe the partnership more on a, what we're looking for and what we received has, I mean, maybe spin it in a little more positive note.
It's hard to be
I
positive.
know.
Are we going back into one?
Oh, we are. Do you need to use the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, I said I'd run out and grab a phone from.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can follow up Brandon if you want, but I appreciate you coming down. That was it. We have to have you here, so.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just was
Thank you.
out of my office whenever the phone rang, so.
It was kind of last minute, you know, if I'm honest, it was last
Thank you for
minute.
joining us.
Yeah,
Thanks, Trevor.
No, I would
you
just.
guys
say
have a
that-
great day.
You
You
too.
too, thank you.
Thanks, Trevor.
Just kind of, Tom, more of, we have these partnerships that we're working towards,
Yeah.
and yet the partnership that we need for something that we have is not there.
Yeah.
And
Well, just the time to be willing to say why, right? Instead of sending a flippant email with half the check boxes not even shown, and just because you can check a box doesn't mean you should. And I'd be willing to bet they can't explain all those fees.
so,
My question is, sorry. Is there any kind of proof that they had a meeting about these changes in their fees and schedules?
I have no idea. They say they adopted the schedule in March, but they certainly didn't update anything on the website. And, it was the same day that Lighted Construction received the email saying we adopted this, that he went back to the link that was shared with him and it returned an error. They'd taken it down. So they recognized their mistake. But anyway, it's just super frustrating and
maybe-
it's old.
the savings that we will feel, we can help staff the coroner's office and or do something to the coroner's office to help pay for that. It's definitely gonna be a,
Yeah, well, and I need to
Transportation
talk to Craig, so, a couple of his employees, they actually live in this area. They would love to see it built here, and I understand that,
where the population is.
well, yeah, I don't know how many commutes back and forth they're actually doing. And I'm not worried at all about the forensic pathologist having to travel a little bit further, to get to our corners, to get to a really nice facility, right? So that shouldn't really be a consideration. I understand the consideration of the traveling for death investigations and that type of thing, but anyway, Craig knew I was gonna be speaking about this morning too, so,
Maybe it's time to,
I'll give him a call,
change plans.
maybe. Whatever it is, I have to do it really quick.
But
Because
Tom,
we don't want to
that's
delay.
how the jail has been. We thought we had something nailed down, and then we're bouncing from parcel to parcel. And
Yeah,
where we landed has been wonderful.
it has been wonderful. So, yeah, it's been a really good project.
Maybe we just haven't found the right spot.
Maybe not. So with that, personnel evaluations, that's gonna take that'll take me to through the rest of the update to 9:30.
But job applicant evaluation or
Personnel evaluations,
personnel disciplinary matters?
it's just job
Look at your
evaluations.
little thing and see what it's at. I think
Sorry.
it's,
Job applicant evaluation.
yeah, I think you have your thumb on it.
Job applicant or job evaluation, RCW 4230.110, some paragraphs 1 and G.
20 minutes,
15 minutes to 14 minutes. 14.
about at 9:30.
Yeah.
We're gonna go into executive session on job applicant evaluation RCW 42.30.1101G coming out at 9:30, 14 minutes.
That's it.
It is 9:30 and we are out of executive session. No decisions were made. Thank you, Caitlin.
I appreciate it. I got nothing else, so.
Tom, how are you?
Uh-oh.
No.
Must be in trouble.
Nothing
Okay,
bad.
what
Back on
happened?
Friday.
You sat
I
down
was
and
in
you're like,
trouble.
I just got back, so I don't know. I was in training all
So-
last week, so it
Oh,
couldn't
okay, I
be me.
thought-
How'd that go?
Good.
My-
It was
Good.
a crab training, so a lot of
Because I was losing my
great information crammed into 3 days. So it was a lot, but
guy says,
definitely worth it.
there's one thing I know.
So, very helpful.
Good. 3 months. He goes, I'm gonna put this. And that's it. 15 milligrams. It's like. It's like prescription. Yeah. So he just wanted me to try it for 14 days. I had full range of mobility in my neck the next day.
I'm supposed to take out bill or anything like that. and I
Okay.
did it anyway.
We're on,
And it's
we're
been
on
about
the-
5 or 6
We're
Yeah.
live. We're live.
we're like,
We're live.
We're ready.
Yeah.
We're moving on.
we're moving on.
Sorry.
Good morning. We'd like to start out with, so Barbara and I had a conversation on Friday about contracts and when would you like them reviewed, things like that. And Barbara said she had not met with the new version of the board, so we were just looking for some clarification on expectations, things like that.
Obviously, we love the concept of reviewing everything all the time, but we don't have the bandwidth for that, and we review what you want us to review. So we know there's the monetary cap in the procurement policy for purchase agreements, so that's clear. Last I heard, you wanted us reviewing all ILAs and MOUs. Is that still the case?
I believe so.
Okay, great. And then what about other agreements that do not involve the exchange of goods and services, and are not necessarily an ILA or an MOU? Those are fewer and further between, but
I
they
know, I'm
do
trying
come
to
up.
think of one. I'm sure that it's just right there.
Sometimes it'll be an agreement that doesn't quite meet the qualifications of an MOU and is not with another governmental agency, so it's not an ILA. And, we're not agreeing to exchange any money, but we are agreeing to do things for each other.
Can you provide any example of that?
I can't remember. I know one came up recently.
Is it that the city of Moses Lake?
I think it might have been.
Okay.
The ILA for the bridge?
No, there was something else, but one thing did come up recently. We're not having any sort of issue about any of this. He brought up the question and I realized
Okay.
that my information was old, and so this was a good
I think we'll
opportunity.
probably keep it status quo.
Okay, great. So if we do have
But
that
that's
odd
just me.
agreement,
Kevin and Rob need to weigh in on that.
yeah, if we
I
have that
actually
odd
didn't have
agreement.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so if we have that odd agreement, you do want legal to review. Okay,
And just a side note for that, our purchasing policy is out of compliance right now.
is it? Okay.
I've got it written up what I need to do. It's just getting the changes done.
Is the monetary?
Some
gonna
of
change?
that has changed.
Okay,
The state updated the RCWs and changed the amounts and made it as convoluted as they love to do.
right, but for legal review,
For
that's
legal
up to the
review.
BOCC, and that is in the purchase agreement, is that, or
It
the
is,
policy,
yeah.
is that
Yeah,
changing?
there is, no,
Okay.
there's an appendix that talks about contracting authority.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that has not changed.
okay, great, so just making sure that that intention isn't changing, so I don't need to track that. Okay, great, then I think we're pretty much all on the same page. That's more or less everything except purchase agreements under that threshold. Does that sound like your intention? Okay, fabulous. Do you want me to stick around for anything else?
Next week we'll change our mind. No.
Perfect, yeah, I'll do
Trying to have
whatever you
some
want me to
con-
do
no,
that I
trying to
can
have
ethically do for you. That's right.
Sort of change things all the time. We're like, what did we do? Did we change that? Did we keep it? What did we do?
Perfect. Well, thank you all
Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you.
Some good news, Stratford Road is being processed today and the prime shop will start tomorrow.
And it will be closed for Memorial Day weekend.
Nope, it will be open on Thursday afternoon.
It will be?
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
It
wow, okay, you're gonna have some happy people.
It absolutely will. They didn't check for Memorial Day when they decided
Okay,
to
I
keep
was
it
thinking,
closed.
oh, that's gonna be, okay.
So that was an error on our part. It will definitely be open.
Perfect.
Stratford Road, I sent you, or Stratford, Vantage. We went out this morning and looked at that. We are gonna be, first look is gonna be with WashDOT to see if they have somebody that can come evaluate the, what the part that came off. It's really fractured above it, plus it's overhanging now. It has no support underneath. It does not look good. But we're not experts in that, so Kate is gonna work on that today, trying to get somebody from the state to evaluate it, so more to come on that. But it also put a big crack in the road, which may just be the chip seal, but that road, I don't know if you've been down there, it basically sits on a cliff right there. So it's Saturday, Wildlife and the Sheriff's Department helped us get everybody, there was about 100 people they thought camped down below when it happened. So we had to get the one lane open to get them out of there. And like I say, it was a good partnership. Sheriff's Office and Wildlife helped us with that on Saturday.
Were there trailers or more tents?
Yeah, there was trailers and
Load of
tents and,
everything.
yeah, there was a lot of people there. So when we went down this morning, of course, there's still 2 people, but
Didn't want to leave.
yeah. So we'll
They may
probably
be
be,
there for a few days or a few weeks if they.
well, we didn't see anybody. I
Any
don't know
rock
if they were
slide?
off climbing one of the rocks or what they were doing, but, so we'll talk about more of a permanent closure, ecology blocks or something to physically block it. So there'll be more to come on that as we get some more information. The MPE system, the official start date was today, but we are still working on their submittals, so not sure when that will actually get started. Hearings, we have, I think the next one is June 2nd for the Viewmont Gate. We had another question. So we have 2 funds that are not being invested. One is paths and trails, and the other one is for pre and post closure.
We're not investing that one?
No. And
That's
Rachel,
like 35 million, isn't it?
no, the pre and post closure is at about, I think it's 3.8 right now.
Okay, I'm thinking
And-
of the landfill.
Yeah, and pre and post landfill is being invested. And paths and trails was, I don't know, 370,000 or
I
something.
definitely invest 3A.
Okay, so how do we do that? We asked Daryl and Daryl told us to come to the board. Is there an official request we need to make?
Yeah, I
Or
believe you make a request.
where we make it to you?
Yeah,
Okay, because
and then
it was
yeah,
less
we
than
take action
helpful.
on it.
So just, okay,
Send a
okay,
letter to us and then we will.
okay.
I don't know if it's on the consent
And
agenda.
don't feel bad.
The fund
I had
members.
$89 million sitting in an account and found out that nothing was being invested. And I asked Daryl and he said, well, nobody asked me. I said,
Yeah, you have to request it.
Okay,
Well, okay, this is what happens. It is invested, but you don't get your money. So Daryl does invest it, but it goes into current expense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not just sitting there and not getting interest. We just don't like to notify you and say, hey, you have this money. Do you want your interest? Because current expense will go ahead and keep it.
okay. Well, it's just,
Somebody's getting it.
yeah,
Current
exactly.
expense is getting it. Yeah, it's not
And-
just sitting there. Daryl would never let that happen.
Okay,
We're just keeping it.
okay.
So
No,
just
that's,
request.
that's, you know, it's over $4 million between the two
Yeah.
that we're not using right now, so,
Some interest income.
yeah.
That's why Daryl was not in a hurry to let you know.
Okay.
Just make sure that when you do, that you're receiving the star reports and it's reflecting on that, so you can include that in your fund balances.
Well, and that's how we noticed it. We were going through the star reports and these 2 are they were the only ones that had no investment revenue, so,
So I can tell you, we were surprised on 89 million. It was like, man, we're missing out on a
Yeah.
lot of cash flow. So,
yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Let's see, John, did you bring the accomplishments?
We have it right, I'm looking at it right here.
So this is accomplishments for the last 2 weeks. Gravel road grading in all areas, rock raking in districts 2 and 3, crack filling for seal coat in all districts. Seal coat, so stockpiles, getting signs installed, locates, that type of work going on. Some ditching in District 3, bridge repair, they're measuring girders for Bridge 382. Some graffiti removal off the bridges, traffic signs, putting in delineators. Also, we have our line striping contract. Some of the roads you might have seen with fresh paint on them. Looks like 2 million, a little over 2 million linear feet. Some guardrail repair, Frenchman Hills, Frenchman and Beverly Burke. And then some blocks down on Old Vantage before the rock slide. Brush and tree trimming in districts 2 and 3. Some training, they had Narcan training up at Public Works after our incident out at solid waste, and they used that on the gentleman there. Bridge crew's still doing some monuments for seal coat in the Pelican Point, Dune Lakes, May Valley area. We did some PUD training. We trained them on some gravel road stuff in their campsites. And then we also had a potato truck flop over on Dotson Hill and take out, I think it was 165 feet of guardrail. And so they'll be working on that this week, on repairing that. So, yeah.
It'll be 3 full days for
Yeah, they're
sure.
working on it because the road, they have the sign, the road was closed this morning.
They should be done.
So is the county doing it, or I saw a county vehicle out there?
Yeah,
Okay.
they should be done Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning. So,
Landfill received 2,780 tons for $135,504. Litter crew brought in 1.94 tons. They walked 2 shoulder miles, picked up 33 illegal dumps, and brought in 38 tires.
Hey, Andy, on those, can you send those to us as well?
The litter stuff,
Yeah.
or just the, you want all of it for solid waste?
Just that solid waste update.
Okay. He does those on Monday mornings because they're open on Saturday, so we always get those late, but I will
Yeah,
send those to you for moving forward. Consent this week, we have the SS4A is a renewal of that grant from, I think this is the second renewal, so about 3 years ago. And then we have the contract for Bridge 247, which is the one out on W, the one that was removed.
And that's not gonna be completed until 2029, huh? That's what it says anyway.
Design
Completion date
right
is
now.
December 2029.
Possibly. There's a lot to design. We would like to realign the road, so that takes a lot. The other thing, this is gonna be, those girders are sometimes can be a year out just to even make them once they're designed. So possibly go faster, but it just kind of depends on how many projects are going and
Just out of curiosity, you guys tracking a Highway 20 deal up there too? I mean, parts of Highway 20 are closed and it looks like it's gonna be closed for almost, well, they don't even have a timeline. It's been closed since the rock slide happened like 6-7 months ago. You can't right now, you can't get all the way across Highway 20. And it doesn't look like you're gonna be able to until sometime next year. They can't even do a single lane. with a pilot car.
Have
Well,
they
that could
been
be our
updated-
Vantage Bridge, or Vantage, old Vantage Highway.
Have they been updated on Adams Road? What we've been told about Adams Road?
No.
Yeah,
Bridge,
Adams, so they're
We
gonna
wanna be updated?
replace Hanson, they're gonna work on Hiawatha, which has the same issues, but is repairable right now. And then they had a bridge on, was it Highway 26, John?
I think, yeah, in Adams County.
And then they're gonna get to Adams Road. It could be, yeah, 2 or 3
okay, so they're
years.
gonna repair Hiawatha before they get to Adams.
Yep,
Well, on Hiawatha, it was interesting at that public meeting, they said that for the Nelson Road, that they had included costs to repair Hiawatha. And the hope was that they would be able to keep it open for the entirety of the detour. So there's a chance there that we might have 2 bridges closed unless they make
Oh, wow.
that statement.
Are they still planning on starting on that Hanson Bridge next month? Is that the plan?
I couldn't tell you.
What I heard is June.
It, I thought they were gonna have it, wanted that one
Hanson, not
completed by the
Nelson,
end of the year,
Correct.
so.
I
Which
thought
it,
November, yeah.
yeah. So that's, man, that could be 3 years.
Thanks for the good news,
Adams.
Andy. Who said to bring that up? We did not need to know that. Happy Monday.
You know, but none of that maybe, I don't know. That's what we're being told, so it's,
Not much we can do about it.
So we need to go to Ritzville, do a roundabout.
it,
Come all the way down through Ephrata to go back
You're
to,
gonna be going all the way to Dotson, so.
and luckily Dodson is a newer structure. I think they said it was 1995, so it's in a lot better shape, so. Cause, yeah. Yeah,
well, let's keep our fingers crossed. That in 1995, it was a good year, I guess. Hopefully it's not the next one on the list.
well, I've been, you know, I get asked about Adams all the time. And they think it's our bridge. And, you know, I tell them, call the state. I mean,
Yeah, it's a really
Hanson-
inconvenience.
Hanson, there was a lot of complaints with good reason. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that. Really haven't heard much.
I've heard of people that live out there, they're rented out there and moved just because it was such a hassle.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
oh, we're gonna move also.
But yeah, not a good timeline for us, but that's what we have so far. And I get it, bridges are expensive and they, I guess, didn't prepare for them,
It's
but
a state. Quick question on the roundabout, Dawson Road 12. What's going on with that? Or is it moving forward?
so we're not doing much with it as of right now. Our hope is, once this SS4A, so this grant that is on consent for renewal is to create a safety plan.
Okay.
Once the safety plan is created, they have 2 streams of funding or grant funding that you can apply for, demonstrative and implementation. And we're hoping to do an implementation grant to help pay for that roundabout at Dodson, because as of right now, there's no funding for
Okay.
it. So, and have you gotten an update on when the consultant's supposed to be done with the safety plan? Is it still?
I think the first draft was beginning in June. So,
Hopefully getting close.
yeah, I know it's been pushed out a lot after talking with Kat.
That's just curious.
Firm foundations.
So, any other good news?
No, that's it.
So they're a consultant, would they be, if we were doing a roundabout, who'd be doing the engineering on
Oh, we would probably hire that,
Read RFQ of that.
yeah. There was one, if I remember right, when Dave Bren was working on it, there's one corner that we don't have enough right of way to do the roundabout that we want. So that would be the first thing is try.
But, yeah, I thought we could, well, I think there's some big utilities, so, but I think, it sounded like the road was not in the middle of
Yeah.
the right of way, so everything could just kind of be shifted over, so there was
And we didn't have enough room with our current right of way to do that.
okay.
So that would be the first domino that we would need to fall. Well, first we'll be trying to get grant funding for it. It's gonna be fairly expensive.
We had an excellent experience with Dow Engineering. So,
And if you need
and
some
the
help with
DOT loved them too. The DOT had very few. I mean, it took them forever to do reviews, but their review comments were, I think in total, the 5 different reviews that we went through, we had a total of 7 comments that had to be addressed, and the DOT wants to use that as an example, so. Yeah, it was
Yeah, that's a
really
good job. That's all the comments you get.
Yeah.
So anything else, Gabe?
No, I don't think so.
John?
No, that was a pass, no. No, I have no other questions, because it's just not getting answered the way I want it.
Well, when you start your morning out, headed down to Old Vantage to see how bad it is, and it turns out, looks like to us, it's not good. So
Thank you for sending the pictures, that was really nice,
rough start to the week.
yeah, for sure.
So where exactly is that at?
So the first rock cliff that you come to as you're heading down, it's right at the end of it before it starts to, where it has that turnout, where that's actually where one of the people are camping again today. It's right before that. And it wiped out the cable rail.
And
and
yeah,
It's,
big rock.
is that the biggest one you've seen? Yeah.
that far.
It's usually, a few rocks. There's been some big rocks, but nothing. I was really surprised on Saturday morning when our foreman sent me the pictures of how bad it was.
It's been a year for it. I mean, there's been a lot of rock slides, a lot of different highways.
So, like I say, there was over 100 people at the bottom. We had to get a lane open in order to get them out.
Right.
So,
I bet you they got a little bit of a scare.
yeah. Honestly, I don't even know how many of them knew that it happened.
Until they go to leave, they're like,
Yeah.
excuse me.
They see sheriffs and the wildlife and our guys coming down on Saturday. What is going on? You need to get out of here now. So, and we appreciate the wildlife department and the sheriff for helping us with that, getting that taken care of. So it worked pretty smooth, and more, like I say, more to come on that. Maybe we'll have some good news on that, Cindy.
Yeah. So the bridges will be repaired and, yeah,
Man,
Next
you're asking
month.
for a lot.
Well, I just won't ask, yeah, sometimes it's best not to know.
So, well, that's all we have.
Well, thank
All
you.
right, we'll go into recess until 10 o'clock. Thank you, guys.
I have a funeral, but I don't know how many days. Okay.
Hey, Marty, it's 10 o'clock. We're here for our auditor's office update.
Hello,
Good
commissioners.
morning.
Thanks, Andy.
I don't have a lot for you, but I do have something of importance, and that's why I brought Trevor. Last week, we had a request from Renew to process an emergency check. The check was to be written to an employee of Grant County of Renew. And it was for TAP funding for a client of Renew.
What's
Obviously-
called TAP funding?
Yeah, transitional TAP
Okay.
is,
Transitional assistance program.
yes, that. And it's a blend of federal funds, state funds through Medicare. So it raised some flags for us on 2 parts. One, did it really qualify as an emergent need? And 2, was it even allowable given the situation? And so I did some research on it, and my opinion was that it's not allowable, that it represents a conflict of interest and multiple areas of risk for audit. Even if not technically unallowable by any statute, should still probably, just as a best practice, not be done, given the circumstances. And I sent it to Trevor to do a review as well, and his opinion, I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I can jump in here on this. So I've got some serious concerns, especially whenever it comes to the conflict of interest scenario, because we're talking about a Renew employee with a client of Renew into a lease. The lease that was provided was a short-term lease, a 3-month period, which is about the time for the amount of assistance that can be done here. And it does appear to be live-in scenario, if I looked at it, it's not like a separate unit to where they have a commercially marketed practice of rentals. It looks to be, you know, a personal living space, for lack of a better term. Some of the guidelines with the TAP funding, it does not appear to be an outright prohibition, but there has to be an enforceable lease between the parties. It has to have clear terms and other things. And I have some concerns with that because the lease that was provided was only for a 3-month period. Whether or not that complies with the statutory guidelines on the Residential Landlord Tenant Act, as to whether or not that's an enforceable lease is also a question. So it raises some serious questions, whether or not it would be allowed, you know, just on its face. And so the emergency scenario also caused some flags for concerns. They may be able to get there if they provide, you know, additional explanation as to what's going on. Things as some of the guidelines that they're looking at for the TAP funding is whether or not there was a clear explanation as to the options, whether or not they were provided, you know, access to multiple things, or whether or not this was, hey, here's an opportunity to get paid, you know, that sort of thing. So I have some concerns as to at least what was provided, whether or not it does comply with the applicable conflict of interest rules.
So the check went to the Renew employee who's going to,
Be the landlord of the client for a 3-month period.
oh,
My understanding is the check wasn't,
We have not issued it. We did not
okay,
process
but
it.
that was the intent, is for the,
And
okay.
based on Trevor's opinion, in my opinion, they originally they pulled it. They said, okay, we're not, you say it's not compliance, we're not gonna go for it, so we weren't even gonna bring it to your attention. However, at the last minute, they got an email back from a contact from TAP funding. The person works for, I think it's, I don't know the exact, well, it's a private entity that manages the TAP funds for Medicare. And their opinion was it would be okay if there was a written agreement in place. So because they had new information from their, essentially their grantor, although that's not, anyway, we said, okay, it's ultimately now going to be the commissioner's decision on whether or not we go forward with this payment.
That written agreement would have to be between the county and an employee of the county?
Yes, or Renew and stance of.
no, it wouldn't be between the county. It would be between the landlord and the tenant. The tenant is the one who would be receiving the TAP funds that are paid directly to the landlord. And so, explanatory, let's say someone moves into a housing authority owned property, but they need assistance in order to get in. So they would produce a lease between the housing authority and the tenant. They would go and apply, and then the check would be issued directly to the housing authority. What we have here at this point in time is we have a Renew employee that has essentially applied for the TAP funding based upon a Renew client with a lease that is only 3 months in length, which again raises some red flags under the Residential Landlord Tenant Act. So whether or not that would constitute an enforceable lease. And so with the employee relationship, there's just pause for concern, at least on the emergency level of going, I think this probably needs an additional look if we're going to be approving it. But it's a proceed with caution.
Seems like a conflict of interest
So
too.
just to make sure I'm tracking right, and to use your example, housing authority. So the housing authority, it would be an employee of the housing authority that is the landlord. In the same case here, right?
No, the housing authority would be the landlord. They own the property and whatnot, but Renew would be the one administering the TAP funds.
So even if it wasn't TAP funding, and even if, I would like to take an opportunity to verify with that person in that company myself as well, just to make sure that they're factoring in our government status. Because if it were government funds, there's still a financial benefit to an employee that's outside of their normal duties.
So,
And
yeah,
it's
the
almost
requester
$3,000.
is the same as the employee is a landlord. I just feel like there's a conflict.
Yes, there's a huge risk as well for misappropriation in that situation.
Well,
So we haven't actually processed it yet. We're not presenting it to you to approve or
did
deny
Dell
at this
sign off
time.
on it?
Dell to my, yes, he approved the batches of expenditures, so yes. I haven't talked to Dell personally. I've only talked to Raina and she talked to Dell.
Okay.
So it's
More to come.
third-hand information.
Okay,
but-
thank you for bringing this to our attention.
And I'm meeting with Dell at 2:00, so I can bring it up again at 2:00.
So at this point, I think we're just making you aware of it, giving you information. I'm going to probably contact Tom will talk to Dell and see if they're adamant about continuing to submit it. If they are, then we will have to bring it to you for a formal approval or denial. And at that case, it will be your guys' decision. Any other questions?
I think there needs to be a pretty good paper trail.
Agreed, yes. And I have a memorandum I can send to you guys as well regarding that situation, if that helps put it in writing for you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for, Trevor. Thank you so much.
Okay, just,
Have a great rest of the day.
Vantage
See
Bridge
ya.
will open on Memorial Day, Labor Day, and 4th of July for 2026. FYI.
What's open?
The Vantage Bridge, it will open, fully open.
Are they doing construction? I
Yeah,
haven't.
they've been doing it for, I think this year, 3 or 4. Yeah,
Oh,
just FYI, it'll be open for this weekend.
Ask anybody trying to go to a Forge concert from the west side.
Yeah.
Or just trying to get across the bridge.
That's not fun.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Thank you,
No worries.
Andy, for bringing this to our attention because it just seems odd.
Yeah, and if they hadn't presented it as an emergency check, I don't know if we would have caught it. I do know that this employee has not received any other.
Okay, you did check.
Yes,
'cause
we
that
did
was my
check
next
that.
question. Okay.
This is the first time that has happened with this employee.
Is it a new employee or a?
No, not new. She's a compliance, hold on, I have her.
I didn't know that Renew was doing that kind of stuff. I thought that was all kind of like the New Hope Kids Hope.
Compliance specialist too. Yeah, it's TAP can be used for homelessness too, and so the situation, yeah. Mhm.
So this person's opening up an apartment at her house or a room?
The lease was to start Friday, May 15th. It did not specify if she currently lived there or
It's an
not.
AD,
We don't know how the arrangement came to be,
ADU.
but it's questionable.
Yeah, I would say probably questionable.
More to come on that probably. And then as far as accounting goes, it's that time of year again. We have our annual report due May 31st. So we're behind. This is normally a 3-month process to get our total annual
When
report.
was it due? June?
May 31st. It's due 150 days after year end. So it's like usually May 30th, May 31st.
Glad you brought that up. I owe you some face sheets for some grants.
Yes, we didn't formally request face sheets, but if they had them from prior year, we're gonna accept them. We did ask them to prepare their total revenues and total expenditures and provide that to us. New Hope, unfortunately, with their turnover in their position, was unable to, they didn't know where all the documents were, or what they need to report. So I actually went there, was it last Friday or the Friday before? I went there on a Friday and I went and helped them find all that information. So we have what we need for our federal reporting with them. Otherwise, I don't know how we would have
Thank you,
been
Mandy.
able to comply with our deadline.
Thank you for doing that.
No problem. But basically that's it. Getting it 2025 financials done and hopefully submitted on time.
And then, okay, Michelle you get it together and then Michelle.
She reviews it and approves it
Reviews it.
before we do our submittal. And we do have an exit tentatively scheduled. I don't know if we narrowed down the time. Caitlin might just be waiting on me to confirm for you requested the Tuesday, right?
Yes.
The last Tuesday of the month. And I just need to confirm with SAO if that day worked for them. They're gonna be doing it remote, presenting it over Zoom or Teams, whatever platform we give them for your guys' link. But it will be a quorum for you guys and hopefully we can invite as many department members we can, certainly those that were audited during that period. And we'll get to see all of the reports and exceptions.
So no more meetings.
We still have them, but, because I have things that I have to provide still, but nothing ongoing with the actual,
I know they'd sent everything up for their supervisor's reviews.
yeah, that all came back.
That all came back.
Yes.
Do you have a draft of that?
I do have a draft.
Can I see a copy of that?
I will share a copy with you, yes.
Or if we can just talk on the phone.
Okay, yeah, because
I'll just give you a call.
it's not the formal one yet until we respond to them, but yeah.
Thanks. I'll just call you.
Mhm.
Just curious about a couple things.
Any other questions?
I don't have any more.
Thanks,
Anything
Mel.
else?
And we'll go back right. Thank you very much.
We're gonna go into recess until 10:15.
I'll try to reach out that person to just let me know how.
It is 10:15 and we are here for our treasurer's office update. Good morning, Daryl.
All right, well, we had sent our information to accounting for all the data they need for the Schedule 6. I even sent my stuff for the accrued interest on Friday to the accounting department. I haven't heard of if they wanted anything else from our office. We had a little thing for Connie. She'll be retiring at the end of this month, and we're not sure how many days she'll be using before then, and of her outstanding annual leave. And so we had a bunch of meetings with her on Thursday and Friday, talking about the last things to work on, to start working on month-end reports without her. So when we get to June, we're interest rates have jumped up. They're highest again at 10-year at 4.60 today. We're done spending money. On the 21st, Mosaic School District has a bond closing for almost $47 million. And it still looks like they may still have untouched capacity of 16 to 20 million. So the way their documents are reading, I didn't call to see if that's what I was reading and interpreting, is they still have money they haven't touched. But that's what we have coming out. That's supposed to be paying for a new high school and 2 new elementary schools. And I'm not sure $47 million is anywhere close to doing such 3 projects. So I really don't know what's, but that's in their description of what they're using the proceeds for.
Sounds better.
Mhm. On Wednesday, I'll be heading to Davenport for our regional meeting where we present legislative proposals. I will have 3 of them to present, 2 of them for the region to decide if we want to move them forward to our June conference, and then to be moved to our ledge conference in July. We'll see. But I am talking to Port of Moses Lake. The legislative changes that had happened in this year's session have really, in their team, it really stifled the ability for TIFs to be done in the future. There's a lot of good things in there that make a lot of sense, but don't give the ports the ability to just throw in any parcel they can. So, and so when you get down to having only the parcels that'll get a benefit, usually don't generate enough money to even do it in the first place. They also talked about the legislation that was passed that only benefit them for doubling the amount of non-voted debt capacity they can incur. They're talking about possibly later next year of tapping that non-voted debt capacity for paying for railroad costs.
You're talking about ports can double their non-voted debt capacity?
Only this port.
Only this port.
It limited to those that have a TIF, and it used only for railroad improvements.
Wow.
So,
Specific.
yes. And so, but if another port wants to do a TIF and have railroad improvements, then they can double it to use that doubling for this project. Yep, that was amazing how, like I asked him, boy, did other ports ask you to try to make it a little bit broader? She didn't answer that, but she thought that if they made it any more broader, then the legislators would have not passed it. So, there's that. We have our June conference, the 15th or 16th, whatever is a Tuesday. Carrie will be doing day trips, but she'll be driving me up and we come back on Thursday. And right now, Carrie's gone today. And so we've got everyone else in the office picking up her stuff and me. So, except she does the banking at home. And so we have that. We're doing all right. We just gotta find what the little things that we haven't figured out for doing month ends and gathering data for annual reports. That's what the new software is supposed to do for us. It's now just for us to go live with it and see how it works out for the May reports. I was curious, any more talk about this amendment to the sheriff's budget? And from the before, just wanted to make sure, see if, because, well, so far money is coming in fine. We actually collected a lot of money in April that went to the taxing district, so we didn't have as much for May.
I'm sorry, what amendment?
I was told they were pushing for a big, huge millions of dollars of amendment for their budget.
They're going to push for it.
And I'm saying is we don't have money for that.
No, it's for 5 additional staff to open the second pod.
So that is part of the planned trip with Will. He's doing that same week. We're doing a ribbon cutting. And that is on the plate to prove that out. So
When's the ribbon cutting?
first, second week of June. We're trying to nail that down right now. So it should have been last week.
Articon.
All right. Also, I have a guy come visit me from Seattle and he said he got a reservation at the new hotel by Walmart. I haven't been aware of even a ribbon cutting happening at that.
Maybe they're doing a soft opening.
I don't know.
So he must be part of the soft opening, but they haven't even opened up the road to the
Well,
public.
maybe it's later in the year. Maybe it's for another.
Okay, so he's worried may not have his reservation. He's gonna call to see if his reservation is gonna be still honored.
Carrie at the city of Ephrata, we toured the new jail here just last week. Her husband is the general contractor on that, so I'll probably call and find out.
Yeah, do they even have their occupancy permit yet?
I have no idea. Haven't been paying any attention to that project, so.
Got
Got
no
my own.
problems to worry about.
Okay, and I'm trying to call a guy who's has involvement in the Seaver Crop data farms, trying to pin down who exactly the contractors are to verify when I look for sales tax, if I'm seeing it or not. Yeah, and they said they've been going full bore.
Don't they have
So
a
they need to
building
be,
permit?
what?
Do they have a building permit?
I don't know what kind of permit you'd have to put in solar panels. Because you don't see one,
Jim should have info on that.
because I haven't seen anything in the papers about it, a building permit for that.
I know those.
I can have Jim follow up on it. And this is Seaver Crops?
The Seaver Cups, yeah. But also, I was told the one between here and Moses Lake is going
Quincy Solar, it's
Yeah.
moving along too.
is going along too, so. Didn't see anything in the papers about, in the building permit section of the paper Herald about that one either. So I don't know if that's something that's just in a side note that doesn't get picked up by the press. Because that's how I try to get an idea of what's happening in this county. Just like, they're talking, well, but then again, they're talking about interest rate increases possibly happening by the Fed in July because this economy is going too hot, prices are going too high. Trying to get people to slow down and not get excited about spending. But then if they're not really spending at all, but just paying more, I don't know what the solutions are. Nope, just trying to keep busy. Again, we have a lot of taxpayers out there that aren't aware of the post office changes. Where they officially made it on national news, how they changed their postmark rules to be at the processing center and not where it's delivered to the first place. Seems a lot of people don't get the national news and are not aware. That's why I did press releases and did add on my statement and did all these things to tell people if they're gonna wait till the last second to make sure you go into the lobby. And a lot of people did, but a lot of the big businesses did not. So they had made postmarks and we are sending them back for more interest. They aren't happy. I don't know how to reach them to make them to understand how big a change this was by the post office, especially for, besides this, elections. It's gonna have a big impact on elections, this change in the rules.
Don't wait till the last minute.
I know. So yeah, we're getting the phone calls now and the emails, asking what's going on. And all I could do is tell them this is big news earlier in the year.
Contact your local post office.
Right, and I figured there must be disclaimer notices put on places. If not, then it's a disservice by the post office for not giving people more warning. That's why we put it on our webpage, put it on the statements and our press releases.
So it was on your statements that were sent out? So
Yep.
there's really no excuse.
I know. But most people are just used to the olden days when
Right.
they could trust things that are postmarked on the same day. That hasn't been the case for a while. Especially people using bank pay. I just got told today by a person that their bank pay check was dated April 22nd. We didn't get it till May 6th or later, and state law was changed to allow 3 business days into the following month for us to receive it to be considered current. And it still didn't meet that. And I don't know, I've contacted banks. Some of these are processed in the Philippines. Some of these banks use an entity and they mail it from the Philippines. And that's why there's no postmark on most of these bank pays. And some are from California and farther away. There's nothing that, bank pays don't get processed in the state of Washington. So you're already creating some trip delay. I can't have these banks put on the right disclaimers to warn their customers. And that was what crazy in the past is we could have in an envelope, things that are dated for multiple days in April. And had some that had dates in May and be all in the same envelope. Yeah, but these bank pays always send it out the same day. Then how did you have so many different dates on different checks? Nope, their business model is to gain some revenue on that float. So.
During Public Works updates this morning, they were asking about interest income on the funds in Paths and Trails and what was the other one? The,
Well, County Road is not getting in revenue either.
Paths and Trail, and what was the other one, Cindy?
No, all the rest are getting interest.
Pre and
Housing
post
trails.
closure.
Pre and
Landfill.
post closure, thank you.
Pre what?
Pre and post.
Pre and post closure fund.
What's
There's,
that fund?
there's,
Landfill, pre and post closure.
With
So it's on
if it's in the solid waste fund, there is no separate fund for solid waste.
but the fund,
But solid waste gets invested.
so the fund that's got like $3 million sitting in it, the interest income,
Well, there's equipment rental and then there's pits and quarries.
No,
You called it
it's,
pre and post.
it's a small fund. It's not the $35 million fund. It's a smaller one.
It's 3.8.
What's the fund number?
They didn't give us
Yeah.
that.
Here, I'll tell you what it
I'm
is.
not aware of I've never heard of them creating a separate fund. Yeah,
We'll get the.
right, well, I know, I've never had anything where they split out the money in the solid waste fund.
We might call Andy and find out.
Because all the solid, because it comes,
And his question was, is there interest income that could be put back into that same fund instead of it
no,
going to?
not the past. And if the commissioners wish to do a resolution to have these funds invested, then we wait for that resolution to happen.
So that's probably coming. Just giving you a heads up.
But yeah. I have not seen a new fund for public works in quite some time. There may be one fund that got closed down, but not any creation of any new funds.
Maybe it was closed and put in with another fund or something. I don't
Follow
know.
up.
I would just call Andy and find out.
Okay?
Maybe check with Mandy and see if it's been
Right.
combined or something.
So what did Mandy say about reports for this year?
She's gonna work on should have helped New Hope to get the annual report done and everything was submitted.
She's a little bit behind, but they were working on it.
And it's due the end of the month and Michelle will review it.
Well, just keep in mind the MAC revenue that was that was put in was not my number, and my number was about $700,000 less. But that's the fund that has too much money in it already. So. Right,
You're talking, okay.
the 135 account where the 911 sales tax goes
Don't
in.
worry, they're burning it up.
Okay,
They are.
Are you letting them?
But I mean, like 6-1, so yes, actually, I kind of am having it. Yep, that sounds like the right decision, guys.
any other questions? I'm over my time.
We are gonna take over their.
Thanks, Daryl.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for that account. I see Bass and Charles Bureau, but I do not see the other.
Oh, boy.
Go ahead. Recess until 10:45.
Thanks, Daryl.
It is 10:45 and we're here for a commissioner work session.
What are the big topics today?
Okay, one of the topics is this, are we supposed to go over the agenda or work session?
Agenda tomorrow morning.
Okay, a work session. We got a text from our friends down in Desert Air, Mattawa area. Desert Air, the Ingle property, they are bringing stuff in. They've called the sheriff's office. The sheriff has gone down there and said, oh, there's nothing we can do as private property. But I do believe in the remedial documentation of that cleanup that they don't get to put more RVs and chunk squatters on their property, even if the owner said it's okay.
Do you know when the sheriff went down there? Was it just in the past day or so?
They were there last Wednesday. I
Because
believe.
that email went around, I sent it off to Jerry, he was sending somebody down there, so.
Okay, but that's kind of what they had been told, so.
Cody went down there and met with the daughter. He was on the property. They attempted to call the owner, doesn't answer his phone. They don't know if it's the same phone number or not. But last day, they said he was in prison somewhere, but he's not in prison anymore, so. And then I talked to Daryl and he said that he's made a few payments on that bill that he has, but he hasn't made any for a while. And so I talked to the prosecutor's office about sending him notice that they're down there again dumping garbage on his property and that we're gonna start the foreclosure process on that.
Thank you, Kevin, for following up on that too, so.
I can't see us spending more taxpayer dollars to go clean up
We're
somebody
gonna,
else's
that piece of
property.
land is gonna be the most expensive parcel in the county.
so anyway.
And then Manawa, the city of Manawa, they will be requesting the county to vacate a road. It is kind of by the public workshop. They go to the farmer's market. I believe that the road kind of stops right before the farmer's market. So it's east into town, southeast portion of Manawa. The problem is there's not enough parking. We've permitted it. And so I don't know if it's a conditional use permit that we gave them for that. But if you pull up the map, they've greatly expanded that area. And there's no parking and they don't really take care of the garbage. So the city is having to take care of all the garbage, the parking that's in the neighborhoods outside of that flea market. I guess it's a flea market.
What's the possibility of putting some kind of talking to Waste Management or somebody to put a drop off down there?
For the flea market?
No, well, just for the Mattawa Desert Air area for their garbage.
Desert Air I thought they had one and they were talking about doing one for their residents. I don't know if they ever did that, just for their residents, their HOA,
I thought they did have one down there.
because they were upset. But apparently Waste Management, who goes down there, they will go get the garbage cans. Because before, if you didn't put them on the side of the road, or maybe somebody did, there was a service that did that.
I just know I get a lot of complaints about it.
Yeah,
Well, from a few people anyway.
no, it is, because there's a lot of trash down there. No, it was supposed to be in the solid waste plan, but the CM maps were updated, but the waste plan apparently never got updated.
Is there an update from Hanford this morning too?
It was,
So just a minute, I'll tell you what parcel it is.
yes, I forwarded to you guys this morning from the Hanford site, a notice of hybrid public meeting on the siting, construction, and operation of a proposed modular system to remove cesium from liquid tank waste in the 200 west area of Hanford. That'll be on June 17th, starts at 5:30 p.m. There's an in-person and a Teams option.
So it is, it's all these little tent areas, if you can see it.
Got an address down there?
Between S and, I have a parcel, does that help? It's on 4th Street, 19045 Southwest 4th Street. So if you go at east on Road 24, and then turn it South Broadway.
What was that street number again?
That could have been her 4th Street, but it looks like it's on South Broadway. So it's opposite of the high school. Like if you're gonna go to the school district, you go the opposite direction. It's on the they have a lot of white tent. Mike used to bounce it over. So they want to vacate that road, so they have, so here's a high school here. There it is right there. So the parking apparently is, they've overgrown the parking area.
Is that
so-
Mattawa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they want to vacate this street so they can control the parking that's on the street and
So it would just end?
well, I think it ends right there before the flea market starts. So they just want to continue it down. Probably be to the next intersection. Or they're asking the county to help them resolve the issue, so they're not blocking the road, parking on the road, parking on everything. But if they have a conditional use permit, and that's where public, or, community development has asked that we revisit some of these conditional use permits so that, make sure they're in compliance with them. I believe that's what they're running under.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So this flea market, is it
It's huge. It's every Saturday.
41195, is that the number?
Just an email from
Looks like a
NACO
red.
on Smart Streets.
Oh, I don't know below if
They-
it's the same people
They
that own it.
extend that grant, so they were, Mercy McIntyre
No, it's a
was
different
worried that
owner.
they were not gonna fund that again, but they preserved it. But they've also increased the Bridge Formula Program funding from
Cecil
5.5 to
Mellinger?
9 billion.
Owns the flea market.
And it's a major increase in federal funding for county-owned bridges. So that's a great deal. I'm gonna have to make sure Andy sees this.
So there's just FYI, they're gonna ask for a road vacation on a portion of Road S Southwest.
I see a Hernandez, Jesus Hernandez, and then these storage units that are there, is that what those are?
I thought that was a flea market. I thought that's now what they covered for the, I think that's their flea market.
Mellinger, is that who it is? Mellinger?
I believe that's their flea market, because they used to have little tents. I'm guessing on that, but maybe that is storage. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong lot. But usually they're set up, they have tents set up throughout the year.
Oh, that's probably it.
I think they just ended up, it's a little moneymaker. It's a hopping.
Don't stop. They selling those lots down there?
What's that?
Are they selling those lots down there? You know, one of those circles right by the school they are building all those houses on?
In Mattawa?
Yeah. I was just curious.
Yeah,
Oh, down. Like Cad's putting in, yeah, I think Cad's been down there putting some development in it. That was my only comment, those two items. But thank you, Kevin, for helping with that property, the Ingle property.
Budget items we talked about with Daryl, the sheriff, the amendment. Has there been any more on the healthcare initiative within the jail? Has that been expanded on with the board by the sheriff's
No, we
department?
don't have $2 or $3 million to expand on it.
So that too, but for the healthcare, right, they did the RFQ, and that healthcare company out of California, 24-hour care, right, it's gonna be like 2 million. Was that explained to the board that that was based on current headcount? That
No,
if we were to fill our jail and we were to be at 512, that'd be 7 million a year?
no, they've failed to say that. I have a question on the insurance. The insurance is coming, is that just a construction insurance that we, for
Well,
three?
that's gonna be our annual insurance for.
Okay, I was thinking it was gonna be closer to $1 million, so,
Well, let's see, we're $362,000 and it is May. So, you know, even if that were half, that were 600 grand a year, so that'd be,
it would be great if we could take it out of the construction.
3/10.
Well, I mean, that's what it is for the jail, because that is the.
Yeah.
So I've been a little worried about how we're gonna pay. I thought that increase this year was, for 2026 was a jail. They're like, oh, we haven't even touched that. I'm like, oh, okay.
but we can take that at 3/10 and then we can properly budget it next year and then, and need to get updates on the actual revenue being brought in on the 3/10, if we're still beating expectations. Because I still have a question out there about, as we went through the budget, that giant chart that we had. I think those numbers have changed significantly as to how much we have to supplement.
It's right here, Tom. If
Yeah.
you like send us the new numbers.
Yeah, I love that chart that you did.
Because we do go look at it.
I know.
What are we in now, PMRT?
These numbers here.
You ever created?
I think these have dropped significantly.
Because our debt has dropped.
Well, this is how much we're supplementing from current expense for the debt service payment on the bonds. But that's based on the revenue that was coming in from 3/10, but the revenue seems to be beating expectations.
Okay, yeah, so this is, they're coming, I think we had to account for 8.
Right.
Jonathan, building,
And I'll get an updated chart.
Holly good?
So.
No.
Yeah, no, that thing.
We're all back. It's you and me, right?
Yep.
Hey, Andy, I was just telling, while we're still open, the city of Manawa is going to request a road vacation for, I think, is it F? Is that opposite of the high school, going to the high school?
Okay.
Going to that flea market. You know where that flea market is? Is that where now? It looks like there are bigger buildings there. For the flea market?
I thought that it's like temporary structures.
Yeah, okay, but this is it, right? This is what it looks like.
that?
Does
Daryl
it
thinks
use
the
that
funds you were
road-
talking about this morning were new funds. He's never
Is
heard
that
of.
it?
It's right here.
2024, I
Gotta shop
think.
somewhere.
The 402
Shop
fund?
over here.
Yes.
Okay, because they did one.
Solid waste reserves?
Nope, not solid waste, sure, paths and trails, and
That's
Pre
really
and post.
Apparently, they don't have any.
Pre and post,
parking everywhere else along the street.
I'm gonna screw it up again, pre and post.
They wanna annex that in so they can control the
It's
street
landfill.
parking,
What did you call it?
the garbage.
Oh, post-coastal liabilities, yeah, those exist.
Yes, Daryl thought they were new.
103 is so old.
Yeah, that was definitely not new.
The question was, while those things are sitting there, the interest income in those funds, if it's being reinvested back into that.
Was it
Instead of on the
103?
current expense.
They should.
What
They
account
should,
was that for?
But we have to do a resolution, and Daryl was saying, well, nobody's done a resolution, but then he questioned that. He thought they were brand new funds. I was like, I don't think.
No,
those
he
are
didn't
new
know. He's
funds.
like, well, why didn't they ask your office? I'm like, they did. And
Follow
anyway,
up on
that's
that
what
later,
that's
too.
for a resolution.
I don't know if it was ever in the original registration or not
I
regarding that.
couldn't find the account.
No, we had to do this with like the jail funds when we, like, the bond proceeds and that kind of stuff too. So.
They were never off.
A separate resolution just for the
We were
investments?
just talking.
Said a lot of words.
It is
That's what
11
you were
o'clock.
like.
We are here for our position management review.
Shut me down. It's good looking at.
We have 2 backfills for you today. Jonathan, would you like to?
I'd be happy to. So the first backfill we have today is in the New Hope Department. It was, this position is entirely grant funded, at least for another 3 years. It's been recently vacated, and we would like, this is a unique position, the Domestic Violence High Risk Team Coordinator position. And we would like to backfill it.
Yep.
Any questions from the board?
Right. And it's New Hope or Kids Hope? New Hope?
New Hope.
New Hope.
Do we have a retirement? I probably missed that. I was,
No.
No, the person has left.
okay. I mean, yes.
Any questions? Okay. And the next one?
So the next one is at Public Works, the design construction engineer. This position does the review for the county roads and infrastructure, and this position was recently vacated due to retirement.
Mr. Bersantes? Oh,
Yeah, Bob.
he's been with the county
Wow.
forever.
No, it's on Facebook. It was a Facebook post this weekend.
I haven't looked at the,
By his wife.
I don't know him that well, but I know that he's been here forever.
I am a
It
yes.
just popped up in my
I'm a
feed.
yes as well.
I think Kate needs that position.
One way to find out.
Pick a good one, Kate.
Yeah.
I'll bring it back for at tomorrow's
Okay.
meeting. And that's all we have for you.
for us that the board would like to discuss? 2 minutes,
Wow.
not my fastest.
What am I
Really?
supposed to do?
We need more candidates.
Oh, what's next?
I think we have an 11:30 Convention of Counties
Oh,
presentation.
yeah. Then a work session.
Is that all we got then?
That's it.
Okay.
Quick.
Well,
Might have to go do a lap.
yeah, we should go do 2 laps.
Okay.
2 laps.
2
I don't think it's
laps.
gonna shrink my forearm, but you know, maybe.
I guess we'll go into recess until 11:30.
I thought I feel.
All right, it is 11:30 and we're here for Convention of Counties presentation. Morning.
Good morning. Pleased to be here and appreciate you letting me into the room. My name is Matt Hawkins, and what brought me onto this pathway of this project called Counties First, and I know you've had it introduced to you as Convention of Counties, and I'll get to that in a second. What got me on the pathway as Counties First was when I ran for state auditor 2 years ago, and having traveled throughout the entire state and landing in a lot of the counties, I by the end of the election season, I recognized that we had a problem in the state, and I say that because where the rural counties were all complaining about this idea that they get these unfunded mandates. And I've heard people say that the counties just don't have a voice in policy. And I had to agree with them. In my review of process and systems within state governing bodies, the counties really don't have a voice. Okay, now you have frontier counties, you have rural counties, you have urban counties. And when you add all that up, the issue is, why are all these bad policies being passed? And why are the budgets going through the roof? Because we've had the state budgets going up probably threefold in the last 10 years alone. We've had policies coming through the process where policies are being passed by the legislature that don't make any sense at all to families, to rural communities, you name it.
Nobody.
The what?
To nobody.
Yeah.
Leave their own
So I'm looking at them thinking, how did that ever happen? Well, I've done enough study of the Constitution and of our history of our country that I went in and dug in a little bit deeper on it as well and was asking more questions. And the answer came back very clearly. We lost the voice of our state Senate. The counties lost their voice in the state Senate back in the mid-60s. And I'm thinking, well, that answers everything. Because when that happened, our legislative process, we went from a bicameral system to a unicameral system. And we lost the voice in our rural counties, so that it doesn't matter what the voice is in our rural counties. We have 3 counties in the state that control it all. And there is no checks and balances between the House and the Senate. And yet if we had the Senate, the state Senate, reapportioned back to the counties, you'd at least have a set of checks and balances that these bad policies wouldn't be getting passed. So it took me back then to this. If you look at this one document here, it takes me back to the guarantee that we have in the U.S. Constitution. The guarantee is real simple. That we're guaranteed, every state is guaranteed a Republican form of government. And it's not a Republican form in the sense that it's about a power politic. It's a Republican form in the sense that it's about representation. And if you take our governing systems back to the idea that it's about representation in government, then that's what our states are guaranteed. Well, what does that mean? Well, the Connecticut Compromise, or the Great Compromise we had back at the formation of our country, made it very clear that the House was to be apportioned by population and the Senate was to be apportioned by fixed boundaries. You roll that forward then to our state, and when our state was formed up in Washington here, we followed that same model kind of. And that is, we had a state house that was formed, that was representative of population, and we had a state Senate that was representative of the of the counties or the fixed boundaries. And then when people say, yeah, but things have changed a little bit, and it's kind of, well, no, things really haven't changed because our counties existed before the state government did. And so our counties are the ones that wrote our state constitution. And as a result of writing our state constitution, our counties then maintain that Senate representation coming through to statehood. But in 1964, all that changed. And it changed because SCOTUS at the time decided to make this change that said that all offices at the state level have to be apportioned by population, which really, it means it took away any checks and balances we had, because our state senators represented by the exact same people as our state counties. I mean, our state senators are represented by the exact same people as our state representatives, to get those two down right. So then I take a look at that, and I look at that and I say, look at the 10th Amendment, and on the 10th Amendment, it says all powers not delegated to the federal government are reserved basically to the states and the people. It's not just the states. Well, then I came back to this idea that says, okay, where have we gone wrong on this? We've lost those guarantees. And by losing those guarantees, the question is, how can we restore that? Well, there's a simple thing within the US Constitution that says that if government is not there to serve the people, and if the people feel like the government has run amok and is going wild and is not representative of the people, that the people are now servants of the government, they hold out this one provision at the federal level that says you can have a convention of states. And within a convention of states, the states can come back together to correct how the federal government has become abusive. I would argue that when you look at the US Constitution, the US Constitution doesn't lay out just a federal government of process. The US Constitution lays out the functioning recipe or the functioning form on how government is to be recreated at the state level and on down. And I say that because when they convened to ratify the US Constitution, all the states moved to this idea of having a state Senate and a state House, basically representative of what that federal model was, meaning that the representatives would be apportioned by population and the senators would be apportioned by fixed boundaries. So that's what we had moving forward. And I think that the method by which we can correct that today is to convene a convention of counties within the state of Washington, or in any state that would elect to do that. We can convene a convention of counties to restore the voice of counties back into the state Senate. Now, the one question that's going to come up by people say is, but you're going to need to change the state constitution. The answer is no, because our state constitution currently identifies that the senators within the state are to be apportioned by county boundaries. And so the Constitution already calls it out. The convention of counties, by having the counties gather together, we could have 26 counties could call that convention, 30 counties could ratify the document, and I believe that would be enough to restore the voice of counties back into the state Senate. I believe also that that could be done this year if the process were to begin this summer. And no question about it, at some point, someone may, when that process gets handled, the state either has two pathways. They can either accept what the counties are giving to them and say, we agree with you, we'll move forward with what you've ratified, or the state, and I anticipate that this would probably be the action that they would take. The state could say, we don't agree with that, and we're gonna throw that into the court system, let the courts decide. If it gets thrown into the court system, I believe that we have a fast pathway to get it to SCOTUS and to have SCOTUS reverse what they did in '64. SCOTUS has already, in the last 6 years, has reversed 3 other key decisions. And I think when you consider those key decisions and how they got reversed, I think this could be the 4th decision that they would reverse under the current Supreme Court we have. To that end, that is, in a nutshell, what I'm here to talk about. And I've got this book that if you would like to have a copy, I'm more than happy and to leave a copy with the commissioners here for them to read. This provides both the history, the reasoning for it, and the support on it.
How many counties have you spoken with?
In this fashion, I've only spoken with a few counties. All of the small, they're all smaller ones. I've gone to the ECOG group to talk with them, and they're taking it under advisement at that level. I'm making myself available to go to any of the counties that will talk and that will have the conversation on it. Again, some believe that there are some counties that believe that there's no way that the court system in Washington State that would allow this to survive. And I say, you're right. The whole premise behind this is the fact that if we didn't have a compromised legislative body, if we didn't have a compromised executive team, if we didn't have a compromised judiciary, we could go through some of the channels we have within our state constitution. But the one promise that our state constitution gives is that it honors and respects completely the US Constitution. The state constitution is silent as to what happens when a state government is gone, when our state government goes completely wild. And with that in, then if you go back to contract law, the contract law would say that the supreme contract really guides. And that supreme contract would be the US Constitution. And that contract says that a convention process could be held to restore the rights that you once had. Questions?
What's been your feedback from the other counties?
What kind of feedback? Is they're intrigued by it. Early on when I approached the counties on this, it was last summer, and I didn't have the book at that time. And so they wanted, support materials, and so I started getting the support materials, and then I realized giving out support materials one-on-one to everybody, something gets lost in the translation. So then I finally compiled it into a book, and that got done about 2 months ago, and got that on out. That last year, the comment was, well, it's not going to get any worse. And I thought, you haven't seen anything yet, and you're going to get some new experiences going to the next legislative session. And sure enough, we've got some more experiences coming into this next legislative session. Kevin already has one, so if Cindy wants one, she can have it.
Well, I had one.
Oh, you have
Oh,
one?
would you do?
I'll get you another. So that's where probably the best input I had was an author out of Texas got hold of me and said, Matt, I've written books on history and the Constitution, and you've laid out the premise and the discussion points that this is viable and this could be done. He goes, I don't know why we didn't think about it before. And I said, I don't know. I said, but having gone through this iteration running for the race that I did, and having applied the concepts of process and systems and audits from the private sector into what I call the government sector, I realize now I understand how progressive policies have really altered our course of governing. There's another concept that came out in this process, and this is in the weeds a little bit, that coming out of the 60s, the one thing to help ratify this thing through this decision through the court system was this item called Dillon's Law. And Dillon's Law basically says that the states are the sovereign entity within a state. So the state government is the sovereign entity, and counties are just nothing but a tool, or it's a creature of the state. And I'm thinking, how does the county become the creature of the state when the counties existed before the state? And that one just didn't fly in any good reasoning. And then I found out that there was a competing doctrine that came out that was called Cooley's Doctrine. And Cooley's Doctrine lost the fight back in the early part of the 19th century, of the last century, and Dillon's Law is one that prevailed. So I'm here to say that it's not the fact that the people have given up on it, it's the fact that the legal system has helped to reinterpret what our policies can be, or what our outcome is. And I think that's where the counties have lost their voice. And that's where I believe that we're finding out with the role of the sheriffs right now in the state of Washington, that the state is trying to exercise its controls that says, no, it doesn't matter what our Constitution says. It's a matter of how we want to redefine the role of a sheriff. Well, if the state can redefine the role of the sheriff, they can do that under Dillon's law. They can't do that under Cooley's doctrine. But Cooley's doctrine is not the prevailing doctrine within the legal community. But just a second, I thought that we had a government that was of the people, for the people, and by the people. And if so, then it doesn't matter really what the legal community wants to give us. If we, the people, want to stand up for our rights and we want to stand up for our Constitution, we have a right to restore that Constitution to what the founding fathers intended. So all I'm asking for here is you guys represent the voice of the people within your county. You guys will have the ECOG meeting coming on here at the end of the month. And I would recommend that you try to exercise a voice going into the ECOG group that says, have Hawkins come in and talk to you. This is something that we can activate now if we want to. If someone will read the book, I'm more than happy to sit down and have all kinds of conversations with them when they want to read the book. I don't get excited about someone just in a flippant manner saying it'll never work. Well, just a second. Why? Why won't it ever work? Have you read the Constitution? And most people haven't read the Constitution. So that's where I'll go back and say that I believe that everything we're talking about here is sound. It's well ensconced within the Constitution. The book is an easy read, okay? And the whole premise of the book is to lay out, it's not just to lay out a problem. I'm tired of people complaining and making problems or identifying, because you guys have problems every day that you get hit up with. What I'm really intrigued about is come to the table with a solution. So when I ran businesses in the past, I would see, when someone would come to me with a problem and say, okay, then what's your solution? And so what I'm coming to you with right now with this is, I'm coming to you with a problem that you already recognize. You have unfunded mandates. You have a state that's trying to redefine what your roles are. If they can redefine the role of a sheriff, they could redefine the role of a county commissioner. If they can move to the point of redefining the role, it means that they could also get to the point where the role becomes appointed and not elected. And it doesn't matter what's in our Constitution, because our Constitution was written prior to this redefining of Dillon's law. And we've already seen how the state has disregarded parts of the Constitution, the state Constitution, when they say you don't have to register to vote 30 days in advance. You can register on the day of an election. Okay, that's just another easy one. I'm sure that I could find a lot more examples of how the state is redefining everything that's going on. Any other questions? And I'm more than happy to come back on a future visit or talk with you one-on-one.
Is this available audio?
I'm working on getting the audio, but I have limited resources.
It's hard with the graph type stuff too, though.
Right.
Charts.
And I've got some even colorized charts that are available online. So
I only asked because I'd knock it out in one trip driving somewhere.
I'm sure you. Yeah. So okay, so what you can do here is a solution on the audio. If you download the ebook, okay, from Amazon, let's say, download the ebook. You can put a Siri apparently will read an ebook to you.
I can put it in ChatGPT or something.
There you go.
Okay, so I've heard, I've had people explain that one to me. I haven't done it myself
Yeah, I've
to
never
prove
done
it out.
But I'll try that.
So yeah, I download the ebook. It's $4.95, and it's the cheaper version. And anyways, you can have Siri help you get through it.
I will do that, and then I will save your book.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Okay.
because I'm kind of, it will just always be with me.
Okay.
No, I hate to anyway, it's kind of like the new Sounds terrible, but,
Mike just said you'd rather us, read it or hear it than just.
but I will keep it if you want. I just feel really
No,
bad.
no,
'cause
no,
I'll
no,
do
no.
the ebook. I have like.
I tell you what to do. If you want to, keep the book and pass
Okay.
it on to someone else.
I just don't want to be like, I'm gonna get the ebook.
No, no, no.
but- Okay.
So I would recommend, because this is all about expanding a discussion.
Okay,
And the more we can expand that discussion, the better off we're all gonna be. Because I don't want, okay, so one of the comments that came back from other counties was, how do we know that people really want this? I said, well, I guess the way to do that is to start having people in the community draw up a petition. And so you'll find, I can't remember which page it's on there, but there's a process in there that I've identified a petition that could be created, that people in the community could sign, present it to their county commissioners, and then the county commissioners act on that petition. And now, there is no requirement as to how many signatures you need. This would be akin to a First Amendment petition process. And I don't know that there's any requirement in a First Amendment petition process when you petition your elected leaders for redress of grievances. So you tell your community how many signatures you want in order to take action. I know that Asotin County, they're gathering signatures as we speak. And they've been working on that for several months now.
So interesting. So I've got a couple of things. So yes, Siri can read an ebook because traditional text-to-speech features use the built-in Siri OS voice. It works virtually any reading app like Apple Books or Kindle. Open settings and tap accessibility, tap spoken content, and turn on speak screen, and we'll do it. So it's done through the accessibility. When you say it can be, yeah, when you say it can be done in a year, but if counties are going to try and gather signatures, I think that's going to blow your done in a year out of the water, because counties just can't move at that speed, right? It's, I mean, trying to find the people to do that and gather signatures and get it. But here's my other 30,000-foot view question for you.
Okay.
What's it look like from a organizational standpoint, right? So you've gone to ECOG, let's say you go to the 7th Legislative District, which covers 5 counties, would probably be very supportive of this.
Right.
Is there like a letter of intent? Is there, is it a resolution done by the Board of County Commissioners? Is it?
Again,
How's it initiated?
I have a mocked up resolution that could be used that's in the book.
So you'd have to get like 26 counties to do that resolution.
Yeah, 26 counties they have to do a resolution to call the convention.
Yeah.
Okay, and every county could have the wording on that slightly different. All they need to say is, we want to call a set of county convention to be able to have this issue there. Not all the counties would have to show up. If you're following the model that's within the Constitution, I think it's 2/3 of the counties, 2/3 of the independent bodies would call the meeting. It's kind of like the Connecticut Compromise. When they finally decided on that Connecticut Compromise, out of the 13 states that were or 13 colonies that had come together, I think only 9 of them actually showed up at the day that they were having this discussion on the Great Compromise, and they finally voted at 5-4 in favor of what they did. So there were some counties, some states that didn't even show up for that meeting, and some that elected not to vote in that meeting. But my point is that 5 states at that time moved that issue forward. So if 26 counties elect to convene, we could have that anywhere you want. And if there's already been dialogue in advance, I think that meeting could be hit fairly quickly. But then that has to, whatever is decided upon by that body needs to go out then for 30 counties to ratify. So it's not a matter of having all the counties in the state, just 30 counties in the state would need to ratify. And you have, I think, 32 rural counties in the state.
So let's say 30 counties ratify it. What's next after that?
30 counties ratify, then you file what you ratify then with the Secretary of State, okay? And then the Secretary of State notates it and puts it in, and then either the AG or the governor is gonna say, great, we love this. And they're gonna say, who's gonna be basically the senators out of these counties? Or they're gonna say, we don't agree with this. We want to maintain our current apportionment that we have, and we'll take it under advisement within the state legislature. And so I could see them filing that then immediately within the state Supreme Court to kick it out, or to file it into the court system and kick it out. My point on that is, by the time we get that done, we say, fine, we don't want the state, we know what the state of Washington's court system is probably gonna say. It's probably gonna go along with whatever the governor wants. And my point then is, we'll fast track that then to SCOTUS, because at that point, it becomes a constitutional crisis. And when we fast track it to SCOTUS, our plans are to have a work body that's gonna get petitions from the other counties throughout the nation. And that's one reason I'm trying to work with NACO right now, that says the other counties throughout the nation could send friends of the court briefings that says, we like this idea. And I would like to think that we could get at least 1,500 out of the 3,000 counties in the nation that would step forward with friends of the court that say, we like the idea, we want to support it. I could even see states within our nation that would stand up and say that the state bodies would ratify a friend of the court decision that would say, we want to get behind and support that as well. So what I'm saying there is that if we had let's say by August 1, 26 counties decide to convene, and by September 1, we have the convention of counties, and by mid-September, we have 30 counties that ratify that. Okay,
Does that then nullify all previous elections and those positions?
It would nullify the state senators, okay? Now, that's where you'd have to decide within this short process then, do the counties go to an election process to elect their county senator? Or do they go to an immediate appointment process to appoint their first senator to fill this emergency need? And then go to a special election after that. So that would be a decision that the counties would have to decide. Do they like better the model of an appointment process, or do they want to step it into an appointment process, moving into an emergency election process? Because you could do the appointment process, and that would set the stage so that you would have a body of senators ready to be seated come January 1. And that's the reason why I'm saying that if the state wanted to play games on this one, they now have two bodies of senators that to be seated in January. And I would think that we could get that emergency hearing with SCOTUS, because this really does become a crisis that they set into motion back in 1964. And it's something that would need to be corrected today. Now, that would be my best case guess as to what could happen. Could it be delayed for a year, 2 or 3? Yeah. But it's kind of like last year. I said last year, we could have activated the process then, because the method I'm talking about really hasn't changed in the last year. And we already seen what dangerous policies have come out of Olympia in the last year. And all I can say right now is that if we had the state senate apportioned by county, it would stop these malicious legislation that's going on. And we could put a stop to this budget that's been going out of control. So I present to you an identification of the problem, and I also present to you a solution, and I'm working on building support. We need to expand the conversation on this. We expand, I'm amazed. So you asked the other question, have I been to the counties? I'm amazed at how many counties are aware of what we're talking about and what we're doing on this, but they're timid. There's a lot of people that are timid on what to do because nobody wants to pull on a lawsuit from the state. But it's kind of like what they filed the lawsuit with the sheriff over in.
What could they sue you for?
Well, that's just it. How can they sue you for a First Amendment petition process? And if the county leaders want to convene a meeting to talk about the issues that are affecting the counties, that's no different than they're responding to the needs of their people. The people have petitioned for them to convene this meeting, and now the county commissioners, they are the legislative authority within that county. They are that local authority. So even if you take action to ratify a document, now the question is, if it has to go into the court system, then let it go into the court system, but know full well, it's not gonna sit with just the state Supreme Court. This will go through the court system all the way through to SCOTUS. And I'm confident that that can be done. And we're all done with time.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Got a minute to spare.
Minute to spare.
Thank you, Matt. We
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank
coming
you.
over.
Give me a call if you need, and I'm happy to talk with you individually or collectively. And I'm happy to come back out a week or 2 or 3 from now, whatever you want. But please talk to the others, commissioners, going in your ECOG meeting. And I know we've got support coming in on the west side, but I have not been invited over to a meeting over there yet. I haven't forced myself onto them yet. Thanks,
All
you.
right, thanks, sir. It's 12 noon. We'll be back at 1 for our next meeting.
Right.
Good afternoon. It is 1:01 and we are here for our commissioner work session. Oh, there's Tom.
Come on up to the top.
Sorry. Hey,
Oh,
Tom.
I did too.
Hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
So,
Eating dog bones.
see if it works. Darn. I updated my iPad this morning and Perplexity.
There was no trout.
Oh, no.
Did you update it? Let's think of another word for like ancient. What would that be?
No, it doesn't work. I'm frozen.
Old Grant County. It works for Old Scottsdale. Old Grant County.
Ancient. But ancient, they don't do ancient Scottsdale. We're looking at changing the Grant County logo
Okay.
from.
So, sorry, I'm gonna change the subject.
No, go ahead. If you're ready, go. I was just killing time.
So I did a Perplexity search for this deal about appointments.
Oh, I did too.
And
They match.
well, I don't see for the auditor's office how we can appoint unless it's a name that is provided by the Grant County GOP. There's no getting around it. Doesn't matter what part of the election year it is.
Unless she's an independent.
It-
She didn't run as an independent. She ran as a Republican.
She did.
Therefore,
So then that's it. For partisan offices and most partisan state offices, vacancies are filled under Article 2, Section 15 of the Washington Constitution, implemented in practice as described by MRSC. The county legislative authority must choose from a list of 3 names submitted by the county central committee of the party of the vacating office. Appointment versus election in an election year, 2 separate questions matter. Do you appoint? Yes, for a vacancy in a partisan county or legislative office, the governing body, County Commissioners Council, appoints a replacement from the party's list to serve until a successor is elected at a general election with timing governed by RCW. For nonpartisan offices, your council board usually appoints directly under the applicable RCWs and local procedures, again, until a successor is elected. If the vacancy occurs before the first day of the regular filing period, the position is open for that filing year and a successor is elected at that year's general election to serve the remainder of the unexpired term. If the vacancy occurs on or after the first day of the regular filing period and it's not the last year of the term, the election of the successor moves to the next general election. So as I went through this, I asked, our Republican county auditor has formally announced her resignation on June 30th. This was the last year of her term. By your estimation, we must contact the Grant County GOP and they will provide 3 names. Is this correct? Yes, your understanding is correct. You do need to go through the Grant County Republican Party and they will provide 3 names for appointment. County auditor is a partisan county elective office under Washington law unless home rule charter has expressly made it nonpartisan, which Grant County has not. For all partisan offices, vacancies are filled under Article 2, Section 15. Effect of this being the last year of the term, since this is the final year of the term and the office is already scheduled to be on the 2026 ballot for a new full term, the appointee will only serve until the elected successor from the 2026 general election is qualified and takes office. So practical next steps. Go away. Notify the Grant County Republican Party County Central Committee of the upcoming vacancy and formally request the list of 3 nominees. Their public site lists contact information and confirms they handle county level party functions. Once you receive the list, the commissioners place the appointment on their agenda and act within 60 days from the effective date of the vacancy, June 30th. If they do not act, the governor has 30 days to appoint from the same list. And then it asks, do you have an internal timeline in mind or when the commissioners want to vote? I said, it's not mapped out. What is the internal process for the Spokane GOP, or I'm sorry, the Grant County GOP? And it just, internally, the process on your side is straightforward. You send a formal notice to Grant County Republican Central Committee. That notice should request in writing a list of qualified Republican nominees to fill the vacancy under Article 2, Section 15. You do not control their internal selection mechanics. You just need their certified list of 3 names, ideally with contact information and a short confirmation that each is willing and able to serve. What the GOP typically should do. The county party chair calls a meeting of the central committee or its executive board to consider the vacancy. PCOs or central committee members are notified and given a process to nominate and vet interested Republicans who are legally qualified to serve. At the meeting, the body votes to select 3 nominees in ranked or unranked order. The ranking practice varies by county party bylaws. The party then formally certifies those names in a letter to the Board of County Commissioners, signed by the chair or the secretary referencing the vacancy. Timelines matter. The legal clock for the county commissioners is 60 days from the effective date of the vacancy, not when you send the notice. There is no explicit statutory deadline for when the party must send its list, but in practice, they aim to get it early enough that the commissioners can act within the 60-day window. So, and then if you don't act in that 60-day window, then the governor has 30 days to appoint from the same list. You can't just arbitrarily choose somebody. So and then it even had a suggested letter. So if you want, we can create the suggested letter. Do you agree? Is this what you found? So, yeah.
Okay.
So basically, we have 3 people running for auditor. So the Republican Party needs to decide which would be their top pick, or does it?
Well, I'm
No,
sure
they
they'll
do
probably
3.
vet all 3 of those, but who knows who all, I mean, they could vet 5 or 6 people. Just depends on, what they do internally. So.
And they can decide not to put the ones on the ballot, but,
And-
but they could put all 3 of them.
In Spokane, we opted to do people that weren't on the ballot as to avoid the look of an endorsement.
Well, that's normally what you do.
Yeah.
What do we do with the sheriff?
The,
Because it was just Ryan.
yeah, I think one of the applicants put their name on, then when the other, somebody on the ballot heard anyway, then he pulled his name off because he didn't want to be the only one when was there 2 or 3 people in that race? I think there was only 2 people in the sheriff's
There's
race.
3 that year.
Okay.
Joey, James.
Yeah, Joe, so
Joe.
one of those 3 put their name on. When they found out the other 2 hadn't, he pulled his name out of it. So I believe it was only Ryan that was on that list, so we appointed Ryan.
Yeah.
And that
then-
came from the Republican Party, so it made it really easy. But yes, if the Republican Party chooses to, we have to pick from that list, or if we don't, the governor does it. So hope and
Yeah.
pray we get it. And usually the list, it was supposed to be all 3, but they will usually give us the first, second, or third. How
They can rank or not rank it. We didn't rank them. And then when the names were given to the Spokane County Commissioners, they explained to the Spokane Commissioners how the vetting went, why, and they did, even though it wasn't ranked, they endorsed a specific individual out of the list, but gave all of the vetting material to the county commissioners to read. So
I don't
That's
think
what
we've
they
gotten
did-
the,
That's what they did the last time.
did we get the vetting material?
Yeah, Candy gave us a reading binder of the information in it.
Yep.
So they were able to read up on everybody, but, so first question for the auditor, do you want me to put that letter together and does it, I don't think it just has to come from the county. So I don't think it has to come from the Board of County Commissioners, but
It can come from anyone.
Okay.
Might as well.
I can send that out today if you'd like.
Yeah, probably sooner than later.
All right.
And the board has to, my understanding also, announce in a session.
Would this be a session?
This is a session now.
At the date of termination.
Oh, so the date that she leaves.
Yeah. Find my note here.
Was announced last Monday.
Yeah,
Your guys'
No, the
motion.
date she leaves.
Oh,
But I think, yeah, was that a public meeting?
It was a letter that she gave us.
It was sent via email,
In
correct?
an open session, the board must acknowledge the resignation, declare the office vacancy as of the stated date and as under Article 2, Section 15.
Oh, we did that at the lunch.
You did?
Yeah.
But that wasn't, is that a meeting though, that you take minutes at?
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
All right, so it's just a letter to the GOP.
Mr. Chair, I move that we send a letter to the GOP asking for 3 applicants to be submitted to the Commissioner's office for the resignation of Michelle Jaderlin, who will vacate her office June 30th, 2026.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. More discussion.
Do you want to limit it to 3 names or do you just want to say, please send a list?
I believe the RCW says 3 names.
Okay,
Clarify
I
that.
think they have to
Okay.
narrow it down to 3.
Okay.
great. All right, sorry.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Don't tell them I'd like 1 name.
I didn't know,
So
maybe you want
people are-
5.
So people are not mad at us.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Not the Republican
I
Party.
will get that sent out this afternoon.
They're gonna be mad at somebody, so they might as well be mad at us.
Well, they're
Can we talk, can we talk rumors?
Oh.
Well, okay,
Well,
if it's,
Well, so I don't know, so rumor
if
is,
we're gonna be talking about individuals, we probably need to go into executive session.
well, it's one of the candidates and it's in
Probably.
regard to the GOP Facebook page. Can we talk about
We should go into
Okay.
executive session, I think.
that? Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move.
What's
that
that
we-
one gonna fall under?
What's the number? Applicant?
Job applicant evaluation,
are you wanting qualifications of a candidate?
appointment qualifications? Yeah, that's probably,
RCW is 42.30.1101H.
Just take a second, if you want to say, you can stay.
5 minutes,
Not even that, I'd say maybe 3.
3 minutes. Okay, we're gonna go into executive session for applicant qualification, RCW 42.30.1101H. For 3 minutes, coming out at 1:17.
Okay.
It makes us so popular when we do this.
It is 1:17 and we are out of executive session. No decisions were made.
Are we going back in?
Yeah, let's go back in for personnel.
Disciplinary matters?
Sorry, Caitlin, getting your steps in
5
today.
minutes?
Probably gonna be longer than 5 minutes, probably.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna go into executive session, starting at 1:17, personnel disciplinary matters, RCW 42.30.1101F, coming out at 1:27. It is 1:28, we are out of executive session, no decisions were made. Thank you, Caitlin.
Anyway, so I'll go and talk to her and ask her. Ask
I'm
her
sure
some
she has an
questions.
idea of how it will look.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe she'll stay on board for that portion of it.
Okay.
We borrow somebody else from another area.
Well, actually, so we didn't get to the other part of what we were talking about though, is how, I guess we do need to go back in for the same thing. Sorry. Unanswered question. Another 5 minutes. Sorry.
Personnel disciplinary.
Yes.
We're gonna go into executive session for 5 additional minutes. Personnel disciplinary matters, RCW 42.30.1101F, coming out at 1:35. It is 1:35 and we are out of executive session.
Yeah. Not a lot of help here, so.
We may have, I think we changed the name.
Chief, there's a chief.
So I think
County
we-
government's
that
just
was
messy.
That was,
Especially this year.
but I would have to look in the, but I feel like we did a long time ago.
Okay.
I love when we have meetings and there's more questions than we have answers
I know,
for.
I'm coming out of this with a lot more questions,
Yeah.
so.
The board meet with the PA's office tomorrow.
No.
I can go over and see him though.
He's working from home.
Hmm?
He's working from home this week. He's working from home this week.
Oh, is he?
Brandon is?
I didn't authorize that.
Trevor is here, should be.
I think so.
I would think that we could talk to our auditor. She'd probably have some answers for us.
Yep, I'm good. And I'm happy to do that with you if you'd like.
Okay, yeah, we can tag team it. What?
Just, it's hard doing, I think you're popular now. You just, people are not even happy during an election over who is,
Yeah.
then you have 3 people pick.
Anybody can go and put their name on a ballot if they're that upset, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, they're usually, and the ones that get really upset are usually the ones that don't even vote.
that's true.
That's
The
true.
most vocal are the ones that are like, well, then don't vote. It's like, I don't even vote because I get so disgusted.
Oh,
There
well,
you go.
man, thanks for wasting my time, but.
Wait.
Yeah.
You have
No
not,
candy
run-
for
I know
you.
you've run across people that are just like, I
Yeah, I know.
don't even vote. I can't even stand politics. I'm like, well,
Well, then don't be surprised.
vote for a change.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That was not a good look. That was a whole,
It's a conspiracy over here.
Okay.
Your vote doesn't count because you didn't vote. That's why it doesn't count.
But it does matter. Every vote counts.
Democracy. It's beautiful.
Beautiful mess.
Beautiful mess.
Okay, what else do we have on our agenda?
Wasn't that enough?
A super random question
What is
for
it?
the board. Next Tuesday, the PUD luncheon at Timeout Pizza. Are you guys gonna go to that?
Yes.
Next Tuesday?
Yeah, 26th.
Probably.
Yes. These guys are gonna go. I guess I'll better go.
The 26th?
Yes, it is on the calendar already. They're just seeking confirmation that you guys will be there, so,
They miss us.
yeah. That's the only other thing I had. Yourself here, so.
Good time.
I I've been craving some wings.
Okay, so I'll finish the story with Gina. So the tourism would like to change the logo from,
It's the tagline of their logo. They want to
Okay.
change it from Nature's Playground to Ancient Playground to match the theme of the travel planner that they're trying to get published.
It's to match
Give us your
the,
real opinion.
But they don't like the word ancient?
No, we
Or
don't.
You guys don't like the word
oh, it's
ancient?
not ancient. There's gotta be a better word. I'm like,
There's
Tom.
like ancient lakes.
I think that's what they're
Well, if they,
thinking.
but they could have said ancient lake, but when
What
they
about
just say
historic?
ancient, that's what I said, at least historic.
Or just Grant County.
Yeah, but I'm just like, when you said, because if you don't
Crazy.
know about the ancient lakes, you're gonna,
It's just gonna be like this,
ancient
right?
playground. We have a playground that's ancient and dilapidated.
It's just like this, just natural ingredients. How about just Grant County? Don't need even a slogan. What does a rodeo and natural ingredients have to do with each other? Fertilizer?
You want to see what the current logo is.
Yeah, I'll look at it. in
I
just a
just never
second.
did like the, just natural ingredients.
I mean, it makes sense. 'cause
It's
It's
cute.
a natural area, but.
Like my 4-year-old would
You're
say,
trying to
it's
be
cute.
like-
I really thought it was a
Shiny.
fish thing, because there was a fish there. I'm like, oh, it
What are they
must be
trying to
from
call
the
it?
fish.
What?
Ancient Playground.
Yeah.
is what they want.
Do a creative 3-word slogan for ancient and playground,
And lakes.
and lakes, and icebergs, farming, and the gorge.
Agritourism.
But make it modern.
What about,
Water slides.
I'm just asking
People
for a
come
better
over for
name than
water
that.
slides.
Yeah.
You know,
What
like
if-
our Ephraim Moses
Try,
Aquatic Center.
Timeless Grove or Heritage Park, Old Stone, Echo Ridge, Sunwell, let's see, Storybook, names by vibe, more natural, Timeless Grove, okay.
what about?
Timeless Grove, Cedar Hollow, Moss and Stone, none of those are Eastern
Timeless
Washington.
Playground. Like that.
Okay,
I don't
this
think that's
is,
working very well.
this is Eastern
Ooh, I
Washington,
love that kind of
Think.
actually.
sagebrush.
Timeless
But you don't want to hear
And
ancient, I
basalt.
just think,
Good, timeless playground instead of ancient playground. Timeless playground.
Or like come for the views, stay for the whatever,
ancient playground.
something.
Stay for the booze.
No.
Basalt Bluff Park, Sagebrush Park,
Right.
Ridgeview Park, Cinder Step Park, Desert Stone Park, Juniper Flats, Arrowhead, Sage and Stone Park.
Sage and stone.
Stone rocks, sage and rock.
I like timeless
I do like timeless.
playground.
Timeless,
Timeless
Playground.
playground.
okay, Timeless
That's my vote.
I like that.
Playground
It just
or something like it.
invokes a feeling of comfort and a feel goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't know, but
This is
ancient,
what it is currently, the gist of it. So they're just trying to change this bit here, instead of saying Nature's Playground to whatever.
Timeless.
but I always find that the logo is bigger than Grant County.
Why is there a horse in it?
Wild Horses Monument.
Oh.
That is the lead horse.
I would think Grant County should be big, Grant County tourism, whatever, then
Mm-hmm.
we got jackets and I thought it was, because I had a fish and it said just natural ingredients. I thought it was from the fish company. And it took me quite a while. I'm like, I didn't know it was a tourism, because you can't really see Grant County.
Is that why you didn't wear it? I'm just kidding,
I'm not a
Cindy.
vest person.
That
I don't even
implies
know
that you
how-
didn't
I don't
wear
even
it,
think I
but-
kept it. I think somebody else has it.
So where I
Okay.
used to work, they would give out logoed shirts and somebody bought one at a yard
Yeah,
sale.
it's upstairs.
I'm hosed. I can't do anything else on Perplexity on here because
It looks like you're moving
because
on
my
your office.
iPad, I had to go to the web and use it on the web
Yeah.
and I timed out.
Maybe
You've
you
asked
get
too
a
many
tank top.
questions.
Maybe you
You
get a
have to
tank top.
upgrade.
They
I have
send
to
out
fix my
shirts.
iPad. I don't know why it's doing that.
My office looks like I'm moving out.
Yeah.
Cause I want that screen and all that stuff out of there.
Oh, I'm like, it's Rob moving. I walked by, I'm like, is Rob moving out?
Hey, you know?
I guess I'm gonna have to undo, I'm gonna have to take that off and re.
More to come.
Timeless playground. I love that. It's just,
I think so
it's just
too.
like old, young.
A timeless playground. The
Ooh,
timeless
timeless
playground.
playground.
Isn't that good? It's just really like, it's just
I just
reminding.
said it 10 times.
Just
Yeah,
thinking
well, it
about-
takes 10 times.
Deborah's just been
My
yelling at this whole
counselor
time.
says back to me my timeline 7 times.
Dang.
It sometimes takes me
Hey, it
days.
just makes you feel like I could have gone there with my grandparents, I could have gone with my grandchildren, with
Yep.
me.
Timeless
just-
playground. Let's say it one more time.
A
Timeless
Could I
playground.
repeat, Kevin, you didn't repeat.
I think it's
did you?
beautiful.
I don't like it, but, I mean, I
You
like
don't?
it. No, I do, but not for that. I just want a nice grant. Remember one year it was like the owl?
No,
No.
Yeah, you do.
the owl?
It was an owl.
It was-
Grant County Travel Planner had an owl on the front.
Oh,
Would they not be
What kind of an owl?
I don't know, an owl.
probably spotted owl.
And it was like, yeah, probably stuff. That'd be funny though.
Ooh,
Or a little
back-
pygmy rabbit. That would be funny too.
Facial crowd.
Maybe just a picture of sagebrush.
Sagebrush.
Also funny.
could we put on there the picture of the owl and then somebody said you sound like an owl?
Who?
See?
I know what you're trying to do.
It's my favorite.
One time I heard Jim Dazan say that to someone and it was not very nice.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. It's like, is there something owl on your shoulder? So funny.
I don't see it, I'm
It was funny.
So as far as direction on this tagline,
Okay,
We don't
like,
have any direction.
still waiting.
We don't like it.
would you like me?
I would just like it to honestly just say Grant County and be a nice picture. Do we have the picture
The picture.
of the cover?
Yeah, I forwarded it to the board
Let's put it on the
sometime
screen.
last week, I believe.
So let's see, here are some alternatives to timeless park,
Arc.
Playground.
playground, sorry.
Here,
I'm looking.
Sorry.
hold on, I'll.
I probably already
I'll-
opened it.
I'll put it out.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Timeless playground.
Back to the
Hold on.
16th and I have
Okay.
like 1,000 emails.
The right side will be the cover, this
That's
is the
way
back
better.
cover. But this is why they're wanting to change the tagline to Ancient Playgrounds, because it's the
So,
title and the theme of the,
I think it should just say, so the top is white, Grant County.
yes.
how about
Just get rid of that.
Heritage
Have it be
Playground or
nothing.
Legacy Playground or Wonderworks Playground?
As far as this goes, this is the final draft of the travel planner. I can reach out to J Ray if you'd
We're not
like.
gonna-
to
we
have
can't
that
change it
changed.
now, we're,
I just meant like get rid of ancient and don't even have like anything. Make Grant County bigger, I don't know.
Maybe the location of that photo?
Okay, so this part, I don't think we can request changes to this page unless you want to talk to J Ray about an addendum to pay them additional funds.
So, but
I
we're-
think we just roll
But
with
the
it, I
part
think we
that
just
tourism-
roll
The part
with it.
that tourism's wanting to change is this section down here, this is the logo for tourism's stuff. And like some variation of that is what is on like the ads and things that the tourism committee puts out. And so all of them normally say Nature's Playground, and they are wanting to change it to be Ancient Playground to match this travel planner. So it's only this,
I think we're,
but that would be on like
Everything
any
else
future
then.
ads.
Yeah,
And
I
it would
think-
be the $300 fee.
I think we should wait on that one. But unless it really,
there's no. But,
timeless.
go
I
back,
do
go
like
back to
timeless.
the other
I
one.
do
again.
like timeless.
Timeless playground?
don't see the point of either of them.
I would just like that
What-
picture to
what
be
was the first
bigger
thing
in
you
Grant
said?
County on the
No,
picture.
no.
Timeless, that's what I said.
Yeah, like a full page and Grant County sticking out in the sky. And
Yeah.
done. It's great. Get rid of Washington even.
Well, because they have a lot of Grant counties around, so you have to
I
have
know.
Washington.
It'd be Grant County,
As
Oregon.
soon as they open the book, it's gonna be the first thing's gonna be an ad for something here though,
An ad for, in a Grant County,
Washington. There's Grant County, Oregon.
you have to be careful, we could be
This
putting
is
these
coming
in.
out.
And they have an effort out there.
The agreement with
They have to be afraid to
this
back
is the,
east.
this is the inside
These will be
page.
pretty just in time for fall tourism.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, this weekend's like, I don't know. I didn't think we should even print a thing this year, but
It's a
Might as
tree.
well say hunting playground.
Yeah, come hunt, fish.
Sorry, Kevin.
Well,
Feels-
by the time it comes
feels
out, it's gonna be
restrictive.
nut season.
That's
Some people
true.
don't like
My
that.
favorite things in Grant County are the views, the weather, the location, and the tacos.
The safe roads.
Good for me.
Did you say on the tacos?
Yeah,
We do have a lot of tacos here.
there's a lot of
We do
tacos.
have a lot of tacos here.
I like tacos.
Yeah, there's no endless supply of tacos around this county, because they're everywhere.
You can never do
I
a
know.
taco.
I like to
Taco
try
can
them
never go
all.
wrong, but I've
Have-
had bad
I
tacos.
think that one up by George.
Have you spent much time in Brewster?
Yeah,
How's there
A
cheaper?
lot of tacos up there too.
That's a good restaurant.
Seems like a lot.
los comparos.
I'm trying to hold the ground on that. Just because I'm so humble.
Kayla's like, you guys, I wanted one word. You should never ask us a word, Caitlin, just like moving on.
So we
She's
should
like,
just
You're
go
not
with
getting any of the
timeless.
help you're looking
I do
for.
like timeless playground.
The board would like to continue discussion and at this time does not approve a $300 charge to change the tagline.
Yep.
That's what I need.
We could have
What
done that
about
20 minutes
timeless
ago.
playground?
I could have done it this morning at
Sorry.
8:40.
We had a special meeting for this.
It's gonna
That's
continue
not
every time
what
I
this was
hear.
meant to be.
Timeless playground.
Then you thought it was gonna be something really simple.
Yeah,
But I'll slip it in the morning when they're just, yeah.
I just work here.
let's put it up to a vote.
You're doing a great job, just so you know.
I do like
Are
timeless
you able to
playground.
fill in for tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
It does.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you want me to suggest that to the?
No, we're not changing anything, no.
But you could say, I don't know, it's the timeless playground sound. It's got cold all of a sudden.
As long
I
as
was
they go
very,
through.
I was very vague with perplexity, so it's gonna be interesting.
I do have a vest upstairs, but it's
I can't
missing
even
the
talk
sleeve,
today.
and that's what I really need.
All right, that's why I'm wearing my.
Somebody
jacket.
already took
over
the
or
sleeve.
what?
You didn't get
I
one? Yours
stopped
is
in
probably
there.
hanging up. Did you not get one?
He might be holding it.
Yeah,
He's probably holding it.
So
so you can-
Caitlin says, Caitlin says she hates that.
That is a
Skybound
child's.
playground, no,
That
what's
is
that? Are we a
that's a child's
bouncy house
magazine.
place?
That's
I
the
like
skydiving
Skybound.
place in Ritzville.
Yeah, skybound.
That's just what it's, that's perplexing.
I know, I'm just kidding around.
Thanks for flexing.
Or
playing.
for the
City has been saving our life here.
Except on this.
So
All right, well, so I don't really have anything else. I'll get I guess we'll talk to the auditor. I'll get a letter off to the GOP this afternoon. And,
And then we'll see how long, hopefully, Vic seems to speed things along. So I think when we appointed, the Brandon, whatever position. We just needed to, we had a timeline so that he was in the county for 30 days, is why it just took forever and a day. But it should clip right along.
I have a 3:30 meeting with the city of Moses Lake tomorrow in my office. So just so you know,
That'll be
Oh,
fine.
me with Rob.
I was bringing somebody else too.
You never replied to
You need
me.
backup?
Yeah, not surprised, but
Do you need backup?
if you'd like to be there,
Is the sheriff's office there too?
When is it?
3:30,
Today?
after our clerk of the board, no, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I'm not the most available.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Kevin, I would love for you to fill in my place. You play good cop, I can play bad. You can play bad, I'll play good.
Whatever you want.
Sometimes as a commissioner, you have to be the good cop and the bad cop.
I might be playing bad cop, you might be playing good cop.
Plus.
You might be there to
That's
say.
possible.
Might already be decided.
There might be two bad cops there. All right, so we're done?
I think so.
Yo.
All right, we're going into recess until tomorrow morning at 8:30.
No.
No, we're going into recess. Going into recess until tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank you.